Oh, let's see. Oh, okay. All right. It is live. All right. Cool, cool, cool. All right. Welcome to episode 671 of the Black Brain Trust. This is the Sapio-Males Guide to the Galaxy. We're going to just do a little late night listening, some open chatty chat, and chop it up and top things, maybe Sapio or not. I don't know. Been a little quiet around here. I know. Life stuff happens. But some of that stuff was also related to this channel. So trust and believe the hiatus was not for naught. Hey, Miss Antisocial Socialite, how are you? I would say this evening, but I think it's morning where you are. Yeah, I got a little. I'm going. Wait, hold on one second. Yeah, I'm going a little drum and bass ish. Yeah, going a little abstract vibe, because that's just what the vibe is right now, man. It is it's up there on the higher wavelengths of the headspace. Okay, 7:36 a.m. All right, so yeah, that's right. You're 8 hours ahead. Okay, 8 hours ahead of me. I'm on the west coast of the United States. Yeah, so and if it's too loud, let me know if it's too loud. I'm using some different headphones, so they all sound different, and then I never know. So if the music is too loud, let me know. Push 4 if it's okay, and push 18 if it's not. So I can, make a clear distinction. Yeah. So no, we're just 4. Perfect. All right, it's good. All right. Yeah, I got some selections for you guys. So yeah. Like I said, this is late night listening, kind of, giving you guys a quick update on what's going on with the channel. We got a micro mobility project in the works, and we're kind of doing some case study type stuff, data gathering, data collecting, and some other things too. So there was that, and then there was just like kind of like some personal stuff. My older brother passed away, and so there was that part, right? There was like family and just that kind of stuff. But it was cool. Not cool that my brother. No, I don't mean that. But I'm saying in the sense that I got to see a lot of people, at his services that I hadn't seen in a long time. And it's people that I think it was kind of like, dude, that we reconnected. And, it kind of sucks. Well, not kind of. It does suck to reconnect with loved ones during that type of time when, we all lose someone. But, that's where we're all kind of reminded of, how it is that, for the people we truly care about, we need to try to like make a point to be in our, be in each other's lives and stuff. So, so you'll see some stuff kind of related to that, man. Like some artist homies. We're gonna link up and collab and do some one-on-ones, and we're gonna do some cool shit. So, yeah, that's what was going on. Also, my little one's out of school, so she's at home for the summer. So it's like she's just kind of vegging out late nights, sleeping well into the mornings, and so it's just, you got, daddy duties, there's that whole thing. So it's just like, life stuff, man. When you have a lot of like life stuff going on, it's YouTube becomes like it just becomes a thing that you can, you do, you can get to it, for the time being, or sometimes not at all. Sometimes it's gonna, in my case, it's a couple weeks we didn't go live here. So, oh, thank you, Miss Antisocial. It's life. You know what I mean? It's like, I lost my wife when I really didn't expect to. So you kind of get, uh, how can I say? You're sort of introduced to the ugly side of life, right? And so when you've kind of seen it so up close and personal that you kind of, well, at least in my case, man, I've been able to sort of get a better grasp of life and like the importance of it. So and it was like, I'm like the second oldest, so it was kind of like I kind of really did have to be like a sign of strength. You know what I mean? So, it's just life. Yeah. But, as is life, it also goes on, right? And, that's where the business side of things has just really been moving. So, I think by August, end of August, man, we're gonna have some real exciting shit on the table. There's just a lot going on now, but we're looking at 60 days. Yeah. But outside of that, here's what I'm gonna do. We'll go ahead and I'll drop the link and we can chat it up for those who want to join. It's nothing in particular tonight. I maybe like for the last couple of days or so, I did sort of fish around for a topic. I had to try to maybe like revisit some old ideas that I had, but it's been so much time, man. It just kind of passed. And I'm like, I don't want to do it. So I was thinking of some new things, but I couldn't come up with nothing. So I'm kind of waiting for something to show itself to me, as far as like a topic to talk about. I'm waiting for something to kind of present itself to me instead of me like searching for something. NC Worker, thanks, bro. Appreciate you, man. So as far as like a specific topic for the Sapio live streams, maybe or whoever listens to this, how about this? You provide the topic. Maybe we could do that tonight for all four of you. Wait, is there four of you? How many people are listening? Four. Yeah, there's four of you. So three now. There's three now. So maybe you guys can provide a topic and we can talk about it. Well, wait a minute.
Oh, here's Johnny.
Yo, what's up, man?
Oh, not much, man. Just trying to untangle my headset so you can hear me better.
All right. Welcome, man.
Here we go. Thank you, sir. Okay, plug it in. I'm aging myself. I don't even know if that commercial's still going anymore.
Well, I forgot, what was it? That was like a air freshener thing, right?
Yeah.
That you plug into the wall.
I forgot the name.
I think it was. It's called. I think it's called a plug-in or some shit.
Yeah, because we used to buy those.
Yeah, we did too, man. We used to get those. You just plug that thing in, and that thing would just like shrivel up over time.
Yeah, we just plugged it in for nothing, just to smell something.
It worked for like 3 days.
Yeah, because that's the thing.
Yeah,
you plug it up on Saturdays. It's funny because it seemed like it was a weekend thing.
Yeah, and then see, what was that Airwick? Wait, was the air? I think the Airwick was just a regular one, right? Where
that's the one with the spray, right?
No, I think the Airwick was just the one where you just kind of twist the thing and then you just set it out. You don't plug it in.
Well, that's Wizard too. Wizard did that.
Wizard, okay.
And then there's Renews It.
Renews, yeah. This little small one. Remember, it has like this little gel pack type of thing. There's like a smaller one that you plug in.
I think that's when I stopped doing it. I had to step my game up to Black Love Incense.
Yeah, look, NC Worker says it's called plug-in. Yeah, that's what I thought it was called.
Yeah, plug-in, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, You know, if you know, let me wash my mouth. But if somebody could have did like
Like
an incense scented plugin,
man, they probably got that in India.
like a shea butter plugin.
Oh, that would be hilarious. I wouldn't doubt if they had that.
You know,
I don't doubt anything anymore.
well, I think they have. They probably do have a sandalwood plugin.
Yeah,
They probably actually have that.
yeah,
But you know, your go to incense shop.
yeah, bro. Shoot, man. Shout out to Dawas on Crenshaw.
Wait, wait. Off of what? Krishan King?
Crenshaw and 48th.
48. There's a spot right near Crenshaw and King, man. It's an African spot, man. And they had like the legit like shea butter and black soap and all that.
Yeah, there's Dawas, and then further down, if you want to get to the Arabs, called Taj Mahal. They got most of their stuff is imported, so you get some nice strong stuff. I think, but their oils are a little bit watered down. I don't really get my oils from them. I get my soaps. So I get all kinds of soaps: Blue Nile, Black Seed, Black Soap. You know, sandalwood is the business, fam.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, sandalwood soap.
Sandalwood soap, dude.
Oh my god!
I gotta tell you, man. I used to like, my wife used to get. She had a friend who was a soap maker. She used to like support her soap making business, right? And she made a sandalwood soap. And I don't know what the hell she did, but she put in the soap.
That shit lasts beyond 24 hours.
Huh?
I said sandalwood soap lasts beyond 24 hours for me.
Well, look, all I know is, man, when I would use that stuff and I get out of the shower, man, my wife was all over me, dude.
Yeah, man.
There's something about some sandalwood soap, dude.
I think people are friendly to my son because he used sandalwood. Cause he used sandalwood and black soap. That's all he does. They're like, "You smell good," and he started grinning.
Man, I went completely utilitarian with my lifestyle.
Okay.
In recent years, right? So I do like, I get my daughter like all like the cutesy, good quality like girl stuff, and then I just use like, I don't know what like, I use good stuff, but that's like priced right. I ain't trying to spend too much on soap.
Exactly. It has to be for a purpose. Ain't buying nothing that's gonna be sitting there forever. Except for my veggie, like we talked about, like the veggie broths and everything that has chicken flavor. I stock up on that. But I just went to this new age place. It's called Soothe Your Soul. And I get because you got those thin essential oils and you got the thick ones. And I haven't used my diffuser in a while, but I'm back using it. And there was this oil called Third Eye. They don't sell it anymore, so I'm stuck with geranium. So geranium's all right. You got the rose and you got the regular geranium. Now, for those people that want to buy geranium, be prepared to come out the pockets.
Yeah, and my daughter's big on essential oils too, man.
Bruh,
I swear to God, she takes after her mom. She got a diffuser, and I have to go like buy her all these different, like, she wants like lavender and peppermint, and menthol, and
because I got to get you your package, man. I promise I get it to you.
Okay, no worries, man. Take your time.
Because I got those, man. The ones for the days, man, and it really hits home.
Well, yeah, well, then shoot, hook it up, man. Because my daughter is like, she's a diffuser user.
Yeah, because you got the ones for burning. Because I don't know if you have, because I think some diffusers don't take the thick oil.
No, it's not going to be the thick one. It's got to be a thinner one. Because
that's the ones I make is they're burning oils.
Yeah, and
then I make the body ones too. But I haven't. What I'm probably going to start doing is doing the real thin ones.
Okay.
But they get expensive. The thin ones. But I'm gonna go ahead because basically that stuff is strong. Just a few drops at a.
Yeah, it's just a few drops. Like, yeah, she has like her diffuser. You only put like 3 drops in it, man. It's her whole room is lit.
Yeah, because those could be body or burning. Yeah, so that's why it probably is so expensive because it's multi-purpose. You know, but yeah, I'm getting back into to those oils because mainly I just do the regular ones from Dawas. You know, but yeah. But then again, too, I mean, I burn my oils too. That because diffuse is for one little area, right? That's where you sit at your desk. But the one when you burn it, it's the whole. It's damn near
It's
the
the
whole
yeah,
house.
it's the whole yeah, it's the like the definitely the whole house. Like what I do is I got a diffuser in my room, diffuser in her room, and then I burn incense outside. When I'm in the garage working, man, I gotta burn incense
Yeah,
because I can't. First of all, it's like I can't have the garage smell like weed all the time.
yeah, I understand, man. Like the
So
skunk.
it's like I gotta burn incense. Then I blow it out the side garage, the side door, and I just have incense burning in the garage.
Oh, and before I forget, oh yeah, we got the Leos. We got Jay Shy. Um, there's a little funny moment, man, because you already know that they keep talking about the Delta variant, right?
Oh God, yeah.
And I was standing in line with it was me and a few white people, and sometimes Indians they wear, you can tell they got the clothes and everything.
Hmm.
It was two or three of them walking past us in line, and brother, they were so close. All of us in line did the lean back at the same time, like smooth criminal. And I couldn't believe. I was like, "Oh fuck, I'm brainwashed." I'm like, "Damn, because we knew we were." I was like, "Damn," but that was crazy. And then I think the people that passed by us, I think they kind of saw it for the corner of their eye, but probably wasn't tripping. But I was like, "Damn."
Did your eyes tear up?
No, we didn't even know each other. We all did the lean back.
No, so I mean, was it that bad that did your eyes tear up?
No, because that variant. The variant,
Uh,
it was like a mental stereotype based on the stuff that was in the news.
oh, okay, I see.
So
Damn, really?
the fact that these people were Indian. Oh no, I'm sorry. A couple of them did like a little cough in their mask, and then everybody looked, and they were about to pass by us, and we did the.
Oh my God,
As
dude.
soon as they passed by, and I kind of look, I was like, we don't even know each other.
Man, look, dude, you can't be feeding into this
That
hysteria.
shit was crazy, man. It was like gravity. It was like it sucks you in the vortex. But that was something I wanted to share. I was like, I can't. Oh, my wife was there too.
Oh
I
my
was
God.
like, God damn. So that's how heavy this stuff is. When you listen to this stuff in the news and everything. That's one of the main reasons why I don't be listening too much.
That's what I'm saying. I gotta, I have to keep my sanity, bro. That's why it's like I garden and and smoke a lot of herb.
I hear you. I
Because
hear
it's just
you.
like, man, I can't, I think me personally, dude, in order for me to like kind of keep my head where I need to keep it, you know.
Yeah, they get you caught up.
No, seriously, because like, look, dude, like with the last deal that I had, like that we had to do with in China and stuff, there were some things that didn't go right. You know what I mean? And you know, and then we had some sample stuff made and sent over, and then you know two of the clients got the samples and they loved it. There was just one issue with it, and the one issue with that was the same issue with the previous order, and I was like, okay, you know what I mean. At a certain point, it's like, all right, I need to be more attentive. I'm missing something here because I need to make sure that the next one goes right because the next one is a lot more money, right? So I literally was like, look, man, if I have distractions around me, I need to remove them. And so, like, literally, dude, I just did like shit that I've been meaning to like get done.
That's why I'm doing. That's what I'm doing now, man.
Yeah, it was like there was just stuff, and I'm thinking like, okay, maybe I'm missing things because there's things that I actually need to do, and it's still occupying space in my mind, right? So until it gets done, it's kind of still there, and it's because it's still there, it's blocking other shit, right? That I actually need to focus on. So like, I literally got up this morning, and like I changed the towel rack in the bathroom, changed the toilet paper rack in the bathroom, changed a couple hinges on a cabinet, just like little shit, so I can just get it out of my head, so I don't have to think about the shit anymore, right? And then cleared some stuff out. There's some stuff I was kind of dragging my feet on, getting rid of some old clothes that my daughter has and stuff. I just want to go through it, make sure certain stuff maybe I want to keep or something. Got all that shit together, do it in the truck, did that, got on your live stream for a little while. You know what I mean? And then it was like, okay, now shit's starting to flow a little bit better. So it's just kind of like sometimes I have to really kind of take a step back. As I was explaining early on, I was like, yeah, man, shit's just hectic.
Yeah, when it piles up, it weighs on your mental capacity.
Yeah, totally. I've spoke to various topics with regards to if you're kind of more of like on the thinker side of things, sometimes solitude is good. Sometimes like just kind of going recluse for a minute, not totally withdrawn, but like just kind of stepping away so you can kind of really assess what's going on in your immediate surroundings.
We did, man, after I finished that live earlier. Remember I said I was at my destination?
Yeah.
Me and my wife just walked on the beach.
Oh, nice. That was the destination, huh?
Yes, sir. And them little portable speakers that you put in your pocket?
Yeah.
I'm playing Grover Washington Jr. all through the walk, fam.
That's how you do it, man.
Bruh. It was, we just said, we were like an old couple, man. It was just straight up. Like, look at the kids playing in the water.
Uh-huh. I'm hanging out. I hang out typically over in the Venice area where the shop is at.
I gotta hit that up. I just hate the parking over there. But
the parking is stupid, right? It's just it's pointless. Oh, you may as well just catch an Uber up over there.
Thank you.
Yeah, you may as well just do that, and then just be prepared for just all types of shit. There's a video that I took that I was actually gonna upload to the Brain Trust. And I caught a lot of stuff, man, that I don't think I should upload.
I got you. Yeah, it's a wild stuff in Venice.
Yeah, it's wild stuff down in Venice, man. So it was like, yeah, you know what? This ain't going. This isn't fitting for the brand.
I have to give it to them. They got the best selection of shirts.
Oh, dude, it's lit. It's lit over in Venice, dude. I'm not even like hating on it.
I just prefer saying, Venice over Santa Monica.
Yeah, it's just, dude. Venice is like a damn party, dude. Homeless encampments and all, dude.
It works out.
It's crazy.
I hung out with Booker T. Coleman. I took him and his son up there, but I haven't took my wife up there yet. She loves Santa Monica, but I'm gonna take her to Venice.
Yeah, Venice will be a trip, dude. Like she'll trip out on that.
Yeah, because it was cool, Because I like their street shows better than Santa Monica.
No, the street shows in Venice are off the hook, man.
Yeah, they got more space. They got more things going. I think Santa Monica might have too many restrictions. That's probably why it's not as good as it should be.
No, dude, Venice is largely for like the locals and shit, right? And Santa Monica is for the tourists.
Yeah, they hire people or they give them a little money or something. They have to pay for a spot.
Yeah, either that or what you do, you just basically, you start at Santa Monica and then you just make your way down to Venice. It's only like 5 miles.
Yeah, it's not too far, especially no traffic. When is it?
Yeah, or if you're just taking whatchamacallit, was it Ocean? I'm trying to remember which.
Either Ocean or Santa Monica Boulevard.
Yeah, you just take it down there and then just cut over to the boardwalk.
I used to like Santa Monica, but that's not my thing anymore.
It's like everything else in LA.
Yeah, I used to, because I used to like to go out and hang out, walk around, whatever. But I'm like, I just don't want to be around people that I don't talk to.
Well, I'm saying it's not. None of this stuff is what it used to be. Like we used to kick it in Hollywood.
Oh,
all the time. We were always on Melrose. Okay, we was kicking it on Melrose, or like Workman's Outlet, around Sporty LA. we'd be out there, like we just be out there like promoting, kicking it, doing whatever we got to do, and then at night, we was clubbing and shit in the same areas and stuff. But and then like over time, man, it just kind of changed, and then yeah, you go to Hollywood, you go to these places now, you're just like, oh. Yeah, I have a hard time even just being being like just in the city nowadays, dude. I'm like, dude, it's too much traffic.
Yeah, because everywhere you go is traffic.
Yeah.
I'm very like specific. I'm like, if I'm going to be somewhere, it's got to be that. It ain't no sightseeing or hanging out. It got to be straight, like the Getty Museum or something, or
right.
The UCLA. Was it Thursday night jazz concerts? I think it's Thursdays, right?
Thursday nights, yeah.
Yeah. So you have those. You got Catalina Bar and Grill. What was that on Roberson? Man, I forgot all them spots. But
are they still around after COVID?
Yeah, they should be. Catalina Bar and Grill. There's Spaghettinis out there in Seal Beach. I'm very specific.
I'm waiting to see, because, well, dude, I've been so out of the loop. Like the last spot I was really like hitting up was the Regent, and so this was like my boy Adrian was doing like some events there in downtown at the Regent.
Yeah, that's
matter of fact. Here, I'll dig up a performance that he did. It shit is dope, dude. Hold on a second. You're
gonna laugh, dude. You know what? I found a lot of drum and bass in my collection.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, that was during my acid jazz period. I got a lot of drum and bass, fam.
Yeah, I'm a huge drum and bass. Like I used to like DJ this shit. So it was like I did this. I would do this when I would do like my more like experimental mixes, where I would do like a lot of like I'd mix like underground, and then because see, you had cats like Artful Dodger who would rap to like drum and bass and garage beats and shit. Yeah. Right. So like there was you could like it really kind of tested your boundaries of like blending songs, right? I'll pull up an Artful Dodger track and play it.
You know who tapped into that? You would never believe it.
Who?
Herbie Hancock. He has a couple of drum and bass songs.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Herbie Hancock. That's what I bought. That was back in the 90s though. But yeah, I was like Herbie. I bought it just because of that. Wow. I think the song is called "The Future," if I'm not mistaken.
The Future. You know what? Why does that sound familiar? The Future.
Herbie Hancock, The Future.
Yeah. Why? I'm actually getting the album or the cover in my head for some strange reason.
The keyboard or something.
Yeah. I'm getting like the cover.
Oh no, it's not that's Future Shock. Wait a minute, it's something. Maybe I got it wrong. It's called Future 2. Yeah, Future 2. That's the name of the album. Future 2. Because the other one is called the Future Shock, and this one is Future 2.
Yeah, I just posted the link. That's Adrian Young live in Los Angeles. That was at the Regent. So yeah, that was a dope ass show right there, man. That was a dope show. But yeah, I'm just kind of curious as to what's going to be opening back up and stuff. I don't know, man. It's like, okay, it's weird. I was telling my production partner Kevin, I was like, man, when I do these live streams, I'll purposely like dig for sounds, like for songs and shit. And so it's kind of like sometimes I get the itch to like want to go DJ. I'm talking about like literally like gig, like go
make them move, like move out the way. Let me get these tables.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Or just what I want to do is maybe like an opening set. Like an opening set, like where just people are just kind of coming in, but I'll just like they'll be like, dude, what is that? And then what I'll do is like then I'll let like the main DJ get on, and then he'll suck, and they'll be like, who was the first guy? And then I've left.
That's me. I'm gonna try to bring in. You heard of DJ Alcatraz?
DJ Alcatraz?
He used to be for KGLH at night. He was for, and he did
Alcatraz. Power. Wait, maybe that name's not gonna.
He did. Maybe. It was at Power, or was it? No, it was 92.3 to beat. He was on there quite a bit.
Alcatraz. Okay, I think so.
Him and DJ G Sweet, both of them. Gigi Sweet, the female DJ.
She's sweet. No, I'm not familiar with her.
She looked a little bit like Kylie Palmer with a little chubby though.
Mm. No, the only female DJs I knew on that station at the time was like the Poetess.
Oh, she was older at that time when Gigi Sweet was there.
Oh,
Matter of
okay.
fact, Poetess introduced me to Don Campbell. That
Yeah,
was
no,
her.
Poetess is deep in the game, man.
Yeah, she was the one that made that introduction. And after that, me and Don were like family. But that was
Yeah.
her, man. She was very resourceful, dude. I'll never forget her on that. I haven't heard from her since I saw her in Zoe's studio, and that was a long time ago too.
Yeah, I wonder what she's up to nowadays.
That's when they were with the Foxhole. That's when I saw them.
The Foxhole.
Yeah, the Foxhole with Jamie Foxx's.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's right. That's right. When he was doing that, was that serious?
I think it had
Or
to
was it
be.
X?
Yeah, because it might have been XM radio
Yeah,
it
yeah.
might have been
Okay.
XM because I remember when I got my XM radio. I'm not sure if they merged at that time, but yeah, because it was weird because I just met Zoe at a jazz concert because I did some the art designs for Long Beach Jazz Festival,
Mm.
and I was just sitting there just drawing and chilling, you know. And Zoe came around. It's like, man, I said, I got to get your number. We got to hook up, man. And I didn't know who he was. And I was like, oh, okay, man. And I gave him the number and everything. And that was during the time where I met George Duke in person. Dude, it was like Malcolm meeting Elijah Muhammad.
Mhm.
It was like, damn, George. I met him and Stanley Clark at the same time.
Yeah, I
I said,
told you his
oh,
Stanley Clark,
shit.
his son Chris is like Chris Clark's the homie, man. He's a dope MC.
You know what? If you can, and because I feel bad about this, this is what happened. I had a picture of George Duke. He signed it, and then George was like, "Is that for me?" And I said, "Don't worry about it, George. I'm gonna get you one." He died, I think, a few years later, right?
Yeesh, yeah.
But Stanley was like, "Where's mine?" And I said, "I take care of you too." His manager gave me his number, but I never got a chance to call. So what I want to do, man, if you can,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna do a picture. I'm gonna do a picture of Stanley, and either send it to you, or you can send it to him.
I'll link. I'll send you. I'll send you Chris's joint on his Facebook page.
And I got a picture of George Duke holding my picture I drew of him.
Oh yeah. No, because I want to say George Duke was like his godfather.
Oh damn!
Like Chris was like real close with him. Yeah.
And they were hella goofy, man. They were just all giggles. What's up, man? What's up, man? Oh, that's my man. Oh, what's up, man? You know, I was dying, man. I wish I could have stayed, but they had to go on stage and everything.
Yeah.
And they were some cool cats, man. I ran into George probably about 2 or 3 times, maybe.
Yeah, I'll
And
find Chris's. I'll get his. I'll link you with his Facebook page.
because I want to hurry up and give Stanley
Yeah,
his
send that
picture,
to him.
man. I might do the one his very first album. I might knock that picture out when he's holding the bass and he's looking to the side. He has Yesterday's Princess on there. That song is tight as hell. Dude, can you play that?
I don't have it. I don't have it in this playlist here.
It's called Yesterday's Princess. People still that's probably one dude tight as hell. Tight. And he was hella young when that came out. I'm like, how did he come up with that shit?
Nah, man, cats was thinking about music differently back then.
That's why I always, and we talking about that the other day. I always praise the late 60s and the 70s because a lot of these people were like hella young, man. Like, what do you call it? Either 23 and younger on average. And that's why I laugh when I hear the younger folks say, that's that old people say these people are like in their teens, they came out this shit.
Right.
Earth, Wind and Fire. Like, okay.
It's
What
no
you call it?
different than the hip hop cats, though, man. The stuff they was coming out with.
Verdine was 19, fam. The bass player. I think Maurice just turned 30 when he got all the young folks. When he did those first two Earth, Wind, and Fire albums, I think he was like in his late 20s. But when he got that young group with Philip Bailey and all them dudes were like young.
Man, listen, dude. Ice Cube, Dale the Funky Homo Sapien was writing for like Ice Cube, the Lynch Mob, Yo. He was writing for all of them when he was like 17.
Don't forget what's his name? Pharrell. He was
he was a youngster too.
Teddy Riley. He was 15 when he did the show.
He was a youngster.
Who else was young at that time?
Shit, Jermaine Dupri was a youngster.
Yeah, he was young. Wasn't it? Wasn't
Battle
Cat?
Came with Criss Cross and but even before, I'm trying to remember what he was doing before. But he was a youngster.
Battle Cat.
Yeah.
He was real young when he first came out. There's so many of them, man. Especially, I mean, not to give it up to the producers, dude. They were before their time. But as far as the musicians back in the 70s, Confunction, what's the other one? Lakeside, Slave.
Yeah, Slave. Yeah, Steve Arrington, all that stuff.
Mass. What's the other one? Mass Production, the one that did Firecracker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, wow, why everybody focus on? I mean, all their albums were tight. Brass Construction. These people were on. I don't know what they on, dude, but I'm like, God damn. I mean, the way that they were playing their instruments, the average person today could not touch a Mark Adams from Slave. I said average, fam. Don't give me no exceptions.
You said average.
Don't give me no exceptions. You be arguing exceptions. I'm saying the average person.
No, I'm a music junkie. So
yeah,
you say that, I'm gonna start thinking like, I don't know, this guy right here.
Don't give me no exceptions. No, because we already got Thundercat and what's the other dude's name? Not Mono Neon. That's his name. And don't forget
I was gonna say Mansour Brown.
Okay, him.
Mansour Brown. Yeah, well, never mind. Go ahead.
We don't give enough credit to Nikki West. Why? A lot of people don't give. Is she too old or something?
Who?
Nikki West.
Too old? What do you mean?
She's a bass player.
Yeah, I mean, too old.
I said because nobody give her. They don't give her enough props, in my opinion.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
She kicks ass, guitar and bass. You know that's
Jermaine Dupri was in the Houdini video. That's right. Yeah, Houdini.
Which Houdini? Which one? Be Yourself or was it?
No, he was that's what I thought. He was a dancer in a Houdini. That's like his early interests. Yeah, he was like a dancer and shit. And he was like in a Houdini video or something. I don't remember which one though. It says, have you guys heard of Amapiano? Amazing things are happening in South Africa.
No, but if he can put a
what the hell? The Freaks come out. Damn.
That's 85.
Yeah. No, it was. He was a youngin.
How old? So he must have been like single digits.
No, Jermaine Dupri is old. He's not that young.
How old is he now?
He's older than me.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Well, damn, you say that as if.
Let me see. I guess because we never, when people are young,
dude. I was okay when Criss Cross came out.
He spelled Jermaine.
Like, I was literally I was like in the 9th grade. Yeah, he's older than me. Yeah.
See,
he might be like 48 or some shit.
Oh my god, he's old as nails.
Oh damn, how old?
Yeah, I mean, next year he'll be 50. He'll be 50.
Boom, there you go. He's 49.
Ready?
Let me see. So yeah, he'd be in his early teens in that video. He said 80.
Yeah, there you go.
So he would have been like 12 or some shit, 13 or 12. Wow. I thought he would do. Man, it's weird, man. And you know what's crazy? And this is some psychological stuff. Like people from my era, even though Michael was older than us, he was still our little brother.
What?
Ain't that some crazy shit?
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, he was tight. I mean, like when you grow up with him and you have those narratives, It was almost like how they did what's his name? Gary Coleman. You know, like
or Emmanuel Lewis.
oh hell yeah, bruh. And dude, and brother, could you imagine him going up in the clubs and making it rain? Did you hear about him?
Yeah, and then you just still kind of like, but you're Webster. but you're Webster.
I'm like, dude. I mean, he making it rain about what 2 feet tall or some shit with a suit on.
Like, dude, this is Webster. This doesn't look right.
They're
What's
like,
going on here?
Webster, go Webster, go Webster.
It's your birthday.
It's your birthday. Baby New Year.
Yeah, baby New Year. Damn.
But these guys, it's like, yeah, even him, he's got to be old as nails too. Let me see. I'm curious, Emmanuel Lewis.
No, he was doing. Wait. Maybe, I hope I'm not confusing him with when Gary Coleman was doing commercials.
Dog,
but I want to say Emmanuel Lewis was doing them too.
He's 50.
Bro, he's damn near the same. He's a little bit older than Jermaine Dupri.
And I swore he was younger than me. I swear to God, I swore.
The reason why is because he was Webster.
Exactly. That was my point. I'm looking. He was born in 1971 in March.
That's terrible. That is absolutely terrible.
And he's from Brooklyn, so he about that life now.
Big up.
He about
stand
that.
up.
And you hear him in his interviews. He a real person in the interview. Yeah,
you didn't get the joke there. I said, I guess stand up. You know,
stand up.
Stand up. Okay, never mind.
He has no kids, and he's about 4 foot. Say he's 4'3". That's kind of tall. I mean, I thought he'd be shorter than that.
Why did they have to? Like say his height though?
I have no idea, fam.
Yeah, they didn't really have to do that though, man. I mean, he's Webster. I need to. Now I know he's 4'3". You know, just.
And Gary Coleman was born in 1968, but he died at age 42.
Yeah, man.
Now let me ask you this: if Gary Coleman would have lived, do you think he would have made use of his status as far as being Gary Coleman and all that?
No, I mean he would have did what he was doing.
What, security work?
I mean, dude, I don't know, man. You know, some people like they do that kind of stuff, and it's not really meant for you to like do it for the rest of your life. You know, it really isn't, man.
Yeah, I really felt bad for the dude, man.
No, seriously, it's because people. I don't know, man. People have a weird view of like the whole celebrity thing.
Typecasting,
Well, not even just the typecasting, man. It's just like it's what the hell? It's just they have like these weird. They think like, okay, wow, you just made millions of dollars, and then they just think like you just keep making it forever and ever and ever, right?
Yeah, his parents did a job on his butt, boy. I was so pissed. I was pissed for him.
Well, yeah, it's not even just that. It's just like, let's just take regular ass actors. Okay, there were people that were prominent in like the 90s and the 2000s, and you ain't seen them in a movie since 2005. And you know what? They just went on to go and live regular ass lives. And I'm saying that, like, well, not even Jaleel White.
Yeah, he was.
Jaleel, he still acts. He still does act.
Not as much as he wanted. Didn't he do stage? Did he do stage?
No, he was like doing Disney. He was on Disney Channel or Nickelodeon or one of those channels.
Right after Family Matters, or was it one of those comebacks?
No, he didn't have to act right after that, but I mean, he still had work. Because
I heard, according to his interview, that he was looking for work, and then he had more opportunities later on.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, sometimes you go and take a break and come back, you do stuff. And I mean, it's like, dude, my sister's an actress, right? So it's like, I even see how she has to really kind of go about doing things in terms of her, how she kind of goes about like planning things out, her films and projects, when she chooses to take a break, stuff like that, And it's just like any other career, dude. Like, you could get burnt out in it.
So let's go with Regina King, right? So she pretty much weathered the storm, dude. She did 227. That's when we first saw her. Then she did
No, I
what?
just think she was. I think she did like commercials even before then. But
Yeah,
I
she
mean,
did.
she's a career actress though.
Kim Fields. Would you say she weathered the storm? Kim Fields.
She's a career actress. All of them types, they're career actresses, right? Like that's the thing. That's what they chose. Some people who do it, they don't do it for a long time. That's my whole point. Like some people think that just because you see like you see them on TV or they seen somebody on TV and then they have an idea in their head of what type of life they live.
You
This is what
know,
I'm saying.
the one that looks like they made the right decisions, and I think that was under the person she worked for when he gave her some advice was the chick that played Rudy,
Who
Keisha Knight Pullum. That's her name.
didn't she just didn't she do a nudie spread or some shit?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Or she
I'm
did
way
like
back in time.
she posed like in some like
Rudy.
yeah, she posed like some G string or some shit or something like that.
Shit. Let me look that up.
Oh, why are you gonna look that's Rudy. Don't look that up.
Let me see whether or not if she did some stupid stuff like that.
I don't know, man. I don't really dude, like I said, I have a whole other
anything.
huh?
Okay. What should I type?
I have no idea, man. Just type in I don't know, like photo shoot.
I gotta do it before my wife wake up.
Oh god,
I'm
well,
joking.
yeah.
Let me see.
She kind of caught flack for it because they were like, "You're Rudy Huxtable," and she's like, "No, I'm not. I'm Keisha Knight Pulliam."
Let's see. Oh well, let me see. Nah, I don't. Okay, I see. All right. So she's wearing lingerie.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was something like that. Oh shit! Hold on, man. Let me just shout out people that are here. Yeah, because I saw Jay Sean was here, Death Racer, NC Worker, Miss Antisocial Socialite, Brandon R. What's going on? Okay, yeah, he was asking about. He said popular songs at the moment. Okay. VC Realm. Yeah, he was the one that was telling us about Jermaine Dupree. Alicia, I don't know if I've seen you here before, but welcome. Ado, yeah, what's going on, brother? Hey, welcome. Lisa Bonet.
No, he's trying to correct you. No, I think he doesn't understand. No, she was wearing lingerie, so I'm quite sure. Because the thing was, she got her degree, and I forgot what it was. She became a Delta. She had some kind of business going on. Then she did movies. She was part of different productions, But when you're doing this whole lingerie thing, I'm like, what the fuck?
No, I told you, I don't. I do. Like I said, I don't have any expectations of people like that. Like especially if they're in like entertainment, whatever. I don't have like expectations of what it is that they should be doing with their lives. I really don't. Because so many people have gone into it, done things, been into it for a certain amount of time, left it, went on to go do something that was even far more lucrative. They made some money in Hollywood, then left, invested in something, and made a shit ton of money elsewhere. And they were like, "Screw Hollywood." That shows you what they think of it.
So were these pictures before she did House of Pain?
I don't know. I just remember. I just remember her doing it. I don't know.
It says she's 42.
Yeah.
So it looked like these are probably like auditions or something, trying to get a part.
No, she did it for it was like a magazine spread or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if it was like what was that HM? What was that magazine that was back in the day?
For men?
I'm trying to remember what magazine it was, or maybe it was for. I have no idea, but she did a photo spread, and yeah, she was like she was scantily clad. Let's just say.
Yeah, she looked real young in here, like she's in her 20s. Yeah, she looked real young. So this is a while ago.
Like probably and then you had the chick from what was the Bernie Mac show? She was on OnlyFans recently.
That one there. I'm like, dang.
Well,
Now
that's what I'm
that one,
saying. I don't I don't have any expectations, man. It's like if they pop
well,
up doing something like that, I go, oh yeah, there you go.
and they were just bigging her up for really representing for the show and everything. I forgot what interview that was, and all of a sudden she came out with that. Then she had to say, "I'm just trying to let people know I'm all grown up," and I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh man,
yeah. By showing me your
yeah,
your grown up bits,
everything,
right?
yeah." Bernie Mac would be proud, right?
Well, it's not even that Bernie Mac would be proud or whatever,
Well, that's
right?
what I'm just
It's
saying, man. That's what I'm putting.
oh
But you can tell me what you think.
oh no, I was just saying like just it's sort of like I'm showing people that I'm grown up. It's like as if we can't see that already.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This whole show business thing, and I'm not knocking it, but it's just something about you walking in one way and then walking out some, a total different creation.
Nah, no. See, I see it a different way, man. Look. In order for you to be an actor, you have to be able to exist in different
I got
alters,
three.
right?
I got three words for you: Mickey
What?
Mouse Club.
Okay, yeah, right. Yeah, okay. Well, there you go. But I'm just saying, it's like I'm just saying, even when people go into an audition, they're not really even being themselves in the audition, dude. They're putting themselves into a pre-alter, and then from that alter, they go into the character that they're auditioning for, right? And then they also create like a stage name and a persona attached to all that, right? See, so actors like exist in all of these different sub alters of themselves or someone else or some character or some shit. And they always, oftentimes, after like a strenuous shoot, they have to go see a psychiatrist. You know?
Oh, give me the. Did you know the story? Well, actually, the one with Denzel after he played Malcolm. The other story of Val Kilmer when he played Jim Morrison. They
Mhm.
had to be institutionalized. You know that?
Yeah,
And the
that's
other
what I
one,
mean.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to get confirmation of what John Amos after he played Kuta Kinte. They said he was hearing voices.
Oh, dude, this man. Look,
I'm
I don't
like,
want to turn this into one of
damn.
those type of live streams, but I mean that's the reason why I kind of I'm like, sometimes people just need to know what they sign up for, right? Um, but the people who really do take that craft seriously, I mean, they'll go and seek whatever type of help they need, after that, and then they'll go on to the next role, and then they'll typically do some more lighthearted role, right?
So
Something that's
give
like,
me some logic behind that then. Okay, so basically I'm reading a script. I think usually people, I don't know, but I think the stories that I usually hear is when they are reacting someone that existed. And so I haven't heard about anyone that's reacting a fictitious character. But as far as someone that existed, they have to be convinced that they're not that person.
no, it can even be fictitious characters.
Yeah, so that's what I want to figure out. Like, what I haven't heard any cases of any fictitious characters where they had to talk them off a ledge, but I only heard about the ones
No,
with the
not
characters.
necessarily talk them off a ledge, but
That's
you.
just that's just a figure of speech because it could be any
Oh,
kind of
okay.
scenario.
I tell you, I'll be literal. I'll be hearing things literally. No, like okay, like VC Rome just put like in there Michael B. Jordan when he played Killmonger. Okay,
So,
and there was the brother who played. I'm trying to remember. He was just talking about it. What was it? What was that movie recently? Was it about the Black Panthers or something? What was that movie?
I know you're talking about God, I can't believe Fred Hampton.
Yeah. Okay, that dude. He
The
had
the other guy, right? Not the
yeah.
one that played Fred Hampton, but the
No, it was like I think it was the other guy, but one of them. I saw in an interview. He was saying he had to go and get some help.
yeah, I remember that. I definitely remembered that. Oh yeah, the dude that played the Joker, the one that died,
Yeah, Heath Ledger.
uh, Keith Ledger. There you go. Yeah,
You
man.
know, it's. I mean, yeah. It's so. I mean, it's a very strenuous job, and like I said, man, a lot of people they'll do it and they'll be like, I've had enough of this. Just like playing professional football, like you get 3-4 seasons in, and you've had your fair share of concussions, and everything else, and you have, it's like, dude, I want to keep doing this, you
And
know.
I'm thinking now. I'm going into the viewer, the one that us, the ones, the consumers or the audience. And I was listening. I always every now and then I throw in some Bobby Hemmett, and people. I mean, he was talking about Cooley High, and he mentioned how even though it was a movie, the fact that they had to see Cochise die, it did something to people at that time. Have you heard of that before? You're kind of
uh
young, but have you heard some people talk
no,
about
it's well, I mean, it's I can it's sort of like it kind of it's um I hate to say this, but it's sort of common sense, right, that it would have that sort of effect, because um depending on how good you can portray an image, right, it just crystallizes that much clearer, right, because the eye sees real people, right, and the scene looks real, so the more realistic you can make it, the more real it seems to people, and that's just the power of imagery.
So you,
So
so mainly you're just saying that it sold better than any other movie at that time.
what
Are
you
you?
said?
I mean,
What?
I'm trying to sum it up. You're saying that it sold better than the other movie.
No, no, I'm saying that if people are not accustomed to seeing a certain type of image, right, and then you see it for the first time, like, so for example, um like uh people seeing like a full nudes like sex scene in a movie, right, that's not a porn. Okay, like the first time that happens, right, that's gonna be you push the boundaries of things, right, and people, it has more of an impression, and then like the more movies do it, the more people get accustomed to it, and then it's like, okay, now you have to push the boundaries on that now, right, it's, or like, let's just say like the movies that have graphic violence. Okay, like, there's been boundaries that have been pushed on, like, what you can actually present to the human eye. Like, okay, horror is like one of those genres where it really just goes there. Okay, but even like in something like a realistic uh situation in a film where you see like a death happen, but it happens in such a way where people interpret it as something that they could very well also experience, right, so it touches them a little bit more closer. So it's just the power of imagery, basically. But that's what happens when people can, like, when people get sucked into a film to the point where they forget that it's a film, or you get what I mean. It's sort of like when something like an image projects something back out, and then it touches you, and you have like an actual emotional reaction to it. You have to really think about that, because it wasn't quote unquote real, right? But it
Okay.
elicited a response. So
So the other, you touched on something when it came to looking at nudity for the first time in a movie or whatever. I have this lecture, and this is crazy because when you look at like Renaissance times, they have plenty of nudity, correct? You got
yeah,
like clothes coming off, or whatever, and the body's all out and everything. I mean, some of them look kind of, quote unquote gorgeous to that some people, right? You taking kids in the museums and they're all looking, oh, this is beautiful, blah blah blah, right? But if a Playboy magazine opens up, oh my God, this is blah blah blah, and I'm sitting there like, is it the photograph? Is it maybe because they're wearing high heels and stockings? Is it sleazy? I mean, what do you think is going on in people's head for them to say it's okay to see nude paintings where it's just damn near real in the paintings, but yet you open up a nude magazine, you flip your wig.
you said, what do I think?
Yeah, what do you think of that kind of the people that have that kind of mindset? Because we're looking at
No,
a large group of people like that.
no, it's just taste. It's just simply put. Some people like it's acceptable if it's in done in classic art or some shit versus in a Playboy magazine or like Hustler or something. I mean, whereas people prefer to jerk off to a Hustler magazine as opposed to like a naked sculpture of
No, we're talking about the prudes. I would say the prudes. The people like for example, a mom or something.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, it's taste level. That's all it is. It's just taste level. It's how do you prefer your nudity, classical or Pornhub based. Like how? That's all it is. It's just taste. Everything's a spectrum. It's all a spectrum.
Yeah.
I mean, they obviously people didn't have a problem looking at it back then. They even sculpted. They took the stone.
It's in front of the Vatican, but for God's sake.
Well, okay, right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, see, so it's a matter of what is like what people find to be either tasteful or acceptable for like what their culture calls for. I mean, that stuff there. I mean, those carvings and those statues, hundreds of years old, right? So no one's gonna say cover that up. Right. But like you go into your kids, that same Catholic parent goes to their kid's room, they got Pornhub on their screen. They're gonna say, hey, take take their computer away or something like that.
You must be crazy. I don't know where I went wrong. How do you?
Well, no, I mean, the inferences are different. That's the thing. Like I said, it's taste. I mean, like they're not doing like spread eagle poses in front of the Vatican. Versus where it's a bit more suggestive. There's other things going on, right? It's inference.
I think,
and so I think people can get that.
I think she did a few things to challenge that. I forgot what it was, and they were mad at her, boy.
Yeah, it's.
She didn't care. She learned from Alice Cooper and them.
What? Who?
Madonna. I remember she was challenging the way that they see the body. The way they see the body compared to quote unquote art. And then that was before she did all that, them cone titties and stuff. That was before that.
I mean, like that kind of shit. Here's what I've kind of taken away from all that. That's like that's sort of like a woman's quest
to challenge what men has established, or what?
No, just whatever the hell they feel as though they need to do. like that whole thing. I think it's wholesale unnecessary. But who am I? I'm a guy, right? But it's like I tell you, I never like. Okay, even if they go about doing that type of shit, it's like. It in terms of my ears, it falls. They're deaf to it, right? Like I could like I could make it. None of that matters to me, right? In terms of just, I don't know, the importance of life in general. Like how does that rank? You know what I mean on the priority scale? It doesn't. That's why I said I think that's like a woman's quest. And that's never really something that I've bothered myself to really try to like understand or figure out. I just let them have it.
So basically, would you say, okay, us being dudes, and you got this is the privacy of your own home now, and you got you appreciate the female body. On one end, you got a painting of a gorgeous grimoire, and the body is just bam, but it's painted. You see a little breast coming out or whatever, a little ass cheek, whatever. But then again, you got the same exact pose of who's out right now. See, I'm old, so we'll just say Apollonia or some shit, right? Same pose, see a little ass out, tit. would you, in your own privacy, your own home, would you leave both paintings up and don't care what people say when they come in, or would you have issues of people coming in and thinking a certain way about you?
Is this like a question that you're asking me?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have that in my house.
Okay. Um.
That's what I mean. It's like, okay, that's really not my. That's not my venue. That's
Okay.
it's like those types of things aren't. I
I
don't
mean,
things that they're not.
I wouldn't
Things,
do it either, but I could say this just to answer the question for conversational sake.
mhm.
Um, if it was me, I I don't think I would have any of that, but I would probably take more of the classical painting rather than the vanity or the Apollonia on there. You
Yeah,
know,
like I said, it's a class. It's more of a class. It's more of a class thing. It's a presentation thing. And that's why like it's inference. Like okay, what is the class is this classical painting? Is she spread eagle and doing all kind of crazy shit,
no, I'm
or
just saying. That's why I say the same exact pose, because even if the same exact pose to where the butt seeping out just like the grimoire or whatever is different than when you see it in a photograph. I'm sorry as far as how people take it.
yeah,
So
yeah, that's what I mean. I wouldn't have anything like that up in my house.
like I said, even though neither one of us have that in our house, if for conversational sake, I would have chose something that's not the photograph. Just in case I got family, friends, or whoever coming through. And then you got to think about children.
Well, I mean, but okay, no, but this. I mean, I think a valid point could also be brought up. Like, well, I guess if you're only going to preface the question based on what would you do, right? Like I said though, I don't really, I don't have that much. It's like okay, not to say that I don't appreciate the female form. I don't have that much of a fascination with it to the point though I need to have pictures of it up in my house, right? I think that's kind of slightly odd. I mean, it was one thing if you had posters up like when you were a teenager, right? Like
Oh,
whoever.
I got Pam Grier on the wall right behind me. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like if you had posters like that up on your wall back in the day and shit, right?
this is my Pulp Fiction room. I got Star Wars, Pam Grier. I got matter of fact, I got I religiously buy this calendar by Boris Vallejo, right?
Hmm.
And some of his pictures have nude women paintings on the calendars. So when people walk in, they see that, but they're not tripping because it's a fantasy art. It's a fantasy art. What do you call it? A fantasy art illustrations for every month. So anybody that is listening, look up Boris Vallejo, and you see what I'm talking about. So me having that picture up there with the calendar, nobody would really bat an eye, even though a nipple's out, ass cheek. But again, if I had something like that somewhere else, where if it's a real person with none of the actual other, because Boris Vallejo got clouds and fire, and it's fantasy art. But if you didn't have any of that and just have nothing but the what do you call it, just the straight up form, people feel a certain way. What I'm trying to address is the conditioning.
You say you're trying to address the conditioning?
The conditioning of how we see the human form in general, the conditioning. And it's weird when you do now here's another one for you. Have you been in those workshops where you do new paintings or new drawings?
No.
Oh, we gotta capture you.
Huh?
We gotta capture you.
No, I said like these are things that I just wouldn't find. I don't.
Trust me, you enjoy yourself. But
That's okay, man. I'd rather stick to my racing and all that other
but
stuff.
but anyhow, it's a trip because like men in a lot of these drawing classes obviously prefer to draw women, but women prefer to draw women too,
Yeah.
more than men, right?
Well, yeah. Men well, tend to have more of a crude form to it. To men, women have more of a shape.
Yeah, because when I was teaching that, when I hired my models, I had because I couldn't just hire regular dudes. I had to hire like muscle dudes. When I hire muscle dudes, people start coming. But if it's one of those regular dudes that just look like a encyclopedia salesman, just decide to take his clothes off, it wasn't hardly anybody showed up.
No, no one's gonna. No one wants to draw that.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a trip how we look at the body, man. Um, I think that's going to be one of my lectures because I haven't had that lecture in years because I show all kinds of things because people have this misconception on why artists do nude models. And don't get me wrong, dude, on the real, some of these workshops I go to, it's some perverts in there, fam. Seriously.
Well, I mean, it's kind of.
And
I
don't get
guess
yeah, I mean you can say
isn't
it's
that
obvious.
apropos?
No, seriously, dude, as an artist, if you're really into it, it shows in your work. So if you're like very, very perverted, you see where your focus is.
I know. I mean, and some of your most influential and provocative artists are also some of the biggest damn pervs,
Oh, like
right? Like,
Disney artists, yeah.
no, I'm talking about people like Terry Richardson, the photographer.
And the other guy that did Fritz the Cat, what's his name?
Yeah, like
I
people
always
like
forget
them.
his name. But I'm
These guys
telling
are
you,
they were
I'm
looked
trying.
like they were looked at as largely cultural icons,
I'm,
right? Until you know some real dark and very seedy thing came about
yeah,
in
but I'm
terms of
trying to tell you
yeah.
though, like, okay, the workshops is usually white folks, of course. It might be an Asian there. I'm usually the only black dude in there, right? So that means I gotta come with it. Just I gotta justify why I'm there. Right. So when I'm in there, man, they seem, you know how people walk by, pretend like they're getting a drink of water or something, or they wash their hand, they kind of peek over and all that. And they kind of walk back and like, oh shit, he's real, that kind of thing. So we get through that part. I get up and do the same shit, right? Bruh, they ain't about that. Some of them in there, they just trying to see some tits and some all that. But the way that they draw, and then on top of that, sometimes they making the breast larger than what it is. They do, and I'm like, wow. And it's a trip because, like, when I first started doing art, I just turned 17 when I first started doing nude models. And don't get me wrong, I had a girlfriend. I saw her naked and all that kind of stuff before I went to college. But it was kind of trippy to see a chick that I never met live, looking like Lisa Bonet, by the way, drop her robe in the middle of the room when I'm in the front row. Let that sink in for a minute when you just turned 17 and you're coming from a sheltered environment.
Well, no, I mean, I honestly, I don't know.
Well, here it went. I'm sitting there like, because the thing was, I just know I had to show up for class. I'm thinking that we're gonna do some bottles or some bowls or some fruit. And so she dropped, and I'm just sitting there, just like, and then my teacher just whispered in my ear, "You can draw now." And I said, "Oh, okay." But but after so many, classes or what have you, it was. I mean, once you are, once you're into the art itself, and you start studying the body for what it is, start breaking down the forms, the shapes, the shadow, all that. That stuff don't really. It's not really an issue anymore. That's when you know. That's how you know who's the perverts and who are the ones that's kind of serious. It's a trip.
Yeah, I stuck to music, man.
Yeah, that was another thing too. I couldn't find. I could. I was always dibbling and dabbling into instruments, and it was somebody from another country because I kept expressing how I want to be a musician, and he knew for sure that art is my passion. And he had that I forgot what country that was. He said, "You can't serve two masters."
You can't serve two masters. What are you talking
That's
about?
that's what he was telling me, and I understood what he was saying, but I wasn't gonna give up that guitar. I wasn't giving that up. But at the same time, I spend more time doing visual art than music. But I did put in some time in that studio as well.
Yeah, only thing I did in terms of art, man, I did like I used to, I messed around with graph a little bit. I'm not artistically inclined though, So it was like I used to, write a little bit and stuff, but really it was more like just DJing and shit like that. That was my thing. I was kind of like a mixed bag, dude. It was that sports.
I tried
Yeah,
DJing, but it was too damn expensive.
yeah.
And
Well,
and I got cheap prices. It was still too expensive.
nah, it's like that's one of those initial investments, man. Like once you get your decks and everything, it's really just that's one of those things, man, where you really got to commit to it if you want to do it.
I had to
You know,
borrow equipment. I mean, it was just too high, man. I just said, forget it. I can't be no damn DJ.
I was all about it, man. I was a crate digger, man. I was shit every other day, damn near, man. I was hitting like some spot digging
But I
for
was
records and stuff.
blessed. I was blessed to be around other DJs and learning about old music. I think that's what really got me to really appreciate the classics, even the stuff that's not really famous. I think that really helped me shape my listening capacity. Was hanging around DJs. It helped.
Yeah, if they're digging for stuff, typically it's on the DJs to like kind of like feed the masses new sounds. You know what I mean? So it's like usually if you're around, like if you're kicking around DJs and stuff, they'll usually know or have like the newest shit or like just like or digging for stuff that you don't know. Like that was like the main thing with me and my homies. You'd be like, "Yo, what you know about this?" Throw this on, be like, "Man, what the hell is that? Like, what? That's some funky shit right there." Or, like, "Yo,
Yeah,
you ever hear this track?" Like, and it'd be like just like some hip hop shit. And it'd be like, "Yo, who's that?"
because
And
we
it'd just
weren't
be like
into
some
house.
new shit. It'd be like
Because
some new stuff, and
because Carson, if you go to Carson, ain't nobody listen to house music in Carson, right?
you said nobody's listening to house
I
music in
ain't say
Carson.
nobody, but say ain't too many people listen to house music in Carson. But when what's his name, Charles Shivers, when he started bringing that stuff back, he started exposing us to that stuff. So we started really getting into it more when he brought that back over there because everybody was, because we all into the whole, well, not just West Coast. I think the only time I thought that the West Coast was defined, maybe you can help, I'm quite sure you can define it more. I thought the only time I knew for sure that West Coast was fully defined is when they had the beef. Because I think a
Wait,
lot of people out here were listening to East Coast as much as West Coast.
wait, you
You
said with
know,
the beef?
no, well, I said the only time I thought that it was like truly defined or whatever, to where people was trying to make the distinctions is when they had the beef. Because before that, a lot of people were really listening to both. You
Well,
know,
there's
Wu
yeah.
Tang and all them.
Well, no, I'm saying like it's that shit is all made up. It's all artificial. I never viewed any of that shit like that. That's why I listen to everything.
But I
You know
am
what I
more
mean? And
partial to
every day,
East
all
Coast
my friends growing up out here, we all listen to everything.
as far as hip hop. I mean, I go with my roots. Most of my stuff took geared towards East Coast as far as my favorites. For the most part, I appreciate the West Coast for sure. But man,
no, I mean, for me, like literally, it's everything.
yeah, mine was, because I go by the roots. Those are my roots. The Eric B and Rakim, Big Daddy Kane. The Marley Marl people.
Well, see, for me, the roots are like all the shit that they sample, right? Because I go back to from producing and stuff. See, I guess that's where my perspective is weird, right? Because through DJing, I get into crate digging. So now I'm digging for original records, right? Samples and shit. And then you get into making the stuff, right? So then you start sampling stuff and then making stuff, and then you don't even put an identifier on your sound like that when you start making your own stuff. So I always thought it was kind of weird to like call something because of, I mean, if it's music, it's music. You know what I mean? Like, so for example, like you can have like I've never heard of like a East Coast, West Coast.
Well, you had Motown versus Stax Records. You have Philly Soul versus what's his name? Dick Griffey and Soul.
When you say verses, like verses in what way?
Like they're very distinctive in sound. They're not just music. There's always a distinction between what is what.
No, but when you say verses, that means that they're in competition?
No, that's how way you would take it, but it would be more of the distinction.
Well, no, then what we would be doing is comparing and contrasting labels. If you say verses, that means that there's two things.
Yeah, verses is still a compare and contrast term.
Right, but see, then it's also okay. So then, are we using it in the same context as an East Coast versus West Coast?
No, it wouldn't be a fighting. So, for example, you got oil and water. Oil and water is a versus type thing.
Okay.
It doesn't. It's something to where one is oil and the other one's water, even though they're very distinctive. But at the same time, they're not necessarily even fighting.
Okay, so my whole point is that if a producer from the East Coast samples a funky drummer break and makes a song, and then a producer from the West Coast samples a funky drummer break and makes a song, are they East Coast or West Coast songs?
Well, it depends. Well, hold on. Now, if it was like, for example,
the origin, the backbone of the sound.
Let me finish. Let me get James Brown. Let me bless this one. All right. So, let me see. Dr. Dre used Funky Drummer in the song. I think it was called. What's that song? It was God. It's a song that he sampled with Funky Drummer in it.
There's a lot of these drum and bass songs that you've heard that have funky drummer samples also. Just sped up.
Break it down, fam. Give me a little, for discussion's sake. Quiet. The song was called "Quiet on the Set." There you go. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you heard that song. "Quiet on the Set."
Yeah.
And he used "I Get Lifted" on there too, by what's his name? Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Yeah, Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Right. Now, obviously, Rebel Without a Pause is a Funky Drummer. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, even though they both used Funky Drummer, what Dr. Dre did is still had a West Coast distinction compared to Hank Shockley's Rebel Without a Pause.
Right, but what I'm saying is I don't hear a distinction. I just hear hip hop.
Yeah, I hear a distinction. A lot of us would make that distinction between that. So basically, Funky Drummer is more like two people having a saxophone. If you want to make that comparison of using Funky Drummer. So you have like a saxophone and a West Coast band, a West Coast sounding band. So for example, here's a weird one. And we talked about this a while, me and some other people. Even though I think it's Slave. Slave is from, aren't they from Cincinnati?
Yeah, they're from Ohio.
But what are their sound distinction? What is it usually identified with?
You could identify it with LA, but Ohio has a funk foundation as well.
Right. So therefore, even though they're, like I said, they're from Cincinnati, for some reason they set the tone and the standard of how LA sound would be compared to any other state.
So would you say that West Coast is actually East Coast? West Coast funk is actually East Coast funk as a result of this?
No, East Coast funk. You know what's funny?
If you're
Okay,
saying slave, it was originally from the East Coast, but
right,
influenced a lot of the sounds of the West Coast.
right.
Could you say that West Coast funk is
No,
actually West Coast if it was influenced from the East
because
Coast?
it would kill your argument with Don Campbell, because Don Campbell's from St. Louis.
Well, no, this is why I'm asking. I mean, it's like, okay, so if people, if we understand that like sounds don't just solely originate in one place, right? And like the influences upon which these sounds come from, like the person who created it is from that place, yeah. But like I said, if both songs are using like components of James Brown and shit like that,
Yeah, he would be
then
using James Brown would be using an instrument.
huh?
So James Brown in this case would be using an instrument like a sax or a keyboard or
No,
something.
I'm keeping it to hip hop, right? Hip hop
Right.
production. So
Yeah,
I'm
it's
saying
still in hip hop. It would be their instrument. He would be their instrument,
no, we're talking.
probably
No, the
funkadelic music.
actual instrument would be the drum break, and that's what I mean. So
Yeah, yeah,
it's the
because the
same.
thing
It's
is
the
they're
same.
not playing drums. They're using his drums. So
This is my whole
therefore,
point. This is my
so the
whole
thing
point because
now
they
I'm saying
sampled
is
it.
that yeah, they're used. So it would be their instrument, fam.
I know it's the drums. So what I'm saying is that both are
This is not a
using the
realistic
same.
conversation, fam.
Both
Because
are
basically,
using the same
because
drums, right?
no, but the thing is, there. I mean, I'm telling you, like, I can go on. Like, let's go with the musicians itself. Do you know the difference between the Stax Records and Motown?
The difference between them, they're different labels.
No, but what are the sound distinctions?
What are the sound distinctions? I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
Motown sounds like Motown. Stacks sounds like Stacks.
See, there we go. See, you're not able to have that conversation.
Well, I
Very
can
important.
have it. I mean,
That's
I'm
a
trying
very
to really.
important.
I'm trying to stick
And
to
that
what
sound is regional. The sound is
well.
regional.
Okay, well, okay. The sounds are regional, but
Hmm.
I'm not comparing Stacks and Motown.
Okay, so let's
I was
break it down.
talking. Wait,
Yeah.
wait, 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 wait. I got to
Hmm.
go back to hip hop because my
Yeah.
my my example
Isn't
was
hip hop a
two
genre of
songs.
music?
Wait a minute, dude. My example was two songs that use the same drum break. And what I'm saying is that once you get back to the sound source, it really doesn't matter because the original song is the original song. So anything that's sampled from it,
I
those
think
are
people
just
would see different.
variances of the
I think
same
people would
song.
see different, fam. A lot of people would see different in that arena, fam.
Huh?
A lot. I said I think a lot of people would see different in that arena.
Well, of
You know,
course, the people say. I'm
because
saying I see it. The reason why I see it the way I
because
see it is
like what's
as
that?
a
Remember that song by Biggie, "Going Back to Cali"?
yeah.
Granted, Biggie is from the East Coast, but what sound did he use?
I mean, but yeah, but that was Easy Mo B who produced it. That was an East Coast producer.
Let's go again. Let's go again. Let's try this again.
He used okay. Well, no, let's do that because it was a West Coast sound, but it was an East Coast producer who made it. So
Yeah,
what
but
was it?
again, so that's what I'm saying is that he's even to be from the East Coast, but he distinctly used a West Coast sound to say, "I'm going back to Cali."
Okay, well,
So
let's go. Let's jump actually a little bit further back in the past. Master Ace did an album called INC Ride.
I haven't. I don't
Or wait,
recall.
no, wait. Sitting on Chrome.
I don't recall hearing that. What year was that?
That was 1993. Okay, so basically that was Master Ace. I'm trying to remember. It was him, Lord Digger, and I'm trying to remember who else did production on that album. But basically, that the whole premise of that album was a kid from Brooklyn meets West Coast car culture. So the whole production on that album essentially is like a West Coast sound, but it was Master Ace flipping it on some East Coast shit. So what do you call that?
You pretty much addressed your own what do you call it, equation there, because basically you just mentioned that somebody from the East Coast did a West Coast sound.
My whole point here is that it's all irrelevant. I don't distinct it as East Coast and West Coast. It's
Well,
hip hop to me.
the key term you use was I, but there's the rest of us that we
Well,
see
I'm not
different.
the only one though. This is my whole thing. I mean, because I think I largely feel as though this quote unquote East Coast and West Coast thing that became a thing in the 90s. It really wasn't. It wasn't it wasn't a thing like that,
Well,
man. It was
I mean, the
because
data has been collected. That's why it was later because when you start going back and peeling the layers, even down to EPMD's first album, they
yeah, it was a
even
lot
they
of
even
funk.
they even were told that your stuff sounds West Coast. So the whole thing is that regardless of if you like both of them, you see them one and the same, it still doesn't take away from its distinctive properties. So
Well,
that's why I was using
it sounded West Coast because they sampled who?
the Zap and Parliament and all that stuff.
Right. Okay, but
Okay,
where were they from?
and Detroit.
No, they weren't from
Actually,
Detroit.
no. What's his name? What's his name? Parliament. George Clinton is from Detroit. Zapp and Roger is from Cincinnati.
Right, and I'm talking about EPMD. So
And
it's
EPMD
like
is from New York.
right, but okay, but why are you call why is everybody saying they sound West Coast? Look, I mean, like I said, these are
What?
things that people can identify in terms of like a like a sound, but in terms of hip hop, the origins of you source sounds from wherever. See, so if you're a cat from the East Coast and you sample some West Coast shit, does that make you trying to sound like you're West Coast, or did you just use some
No, I
shit
mean I
and
could
just
even go
make it?
into salsa. I mean the fact that I do norteño, I can always put a salsa song on my album and give kudos to the salsa people. I mean you can't take away distinctions because you want to fuse everybody together.
No, I'm not taking away distinctions. I'm just saying that I'm saying that the notion of East Coast and West Coast and all that
Well, as
was
far as the beef
largely
stuff,
was it
that's
was
your thing, man. Nobody's talking about no beefs. We're
wait,
talking about distinctions.
wait. You said talking about what?
I said if you're trying to go about that whole beef and battle thing, I mean, it ain't that that's not really an issue.
What I'm saying is as how people use it in terms of hip hop. Okay,
Okay, and
that it
hip
was
hop as well.
that stuff was largely artificial. I'm just saying hip hop music is hip hop music at the end of the day.
So let me get you on the record here. Okay, so you're saying, so because I'm tired of circle stuff here. So you're saying that I know like chicken or the egg type stuff.
It is
Uh,
chicken and egg. That's why I'm
Now,
saying hip
so
hop
here
is
we
hip hop
go.
at the end of the
So
day.
let me say this. So you're saying that there is no West Coast distinction or no East Coast distinction when it comes to hip hop
No,
music.
I'm saying the distinction is that there are people who come from the West Coast who make hip hop music. But guess what hip hop music is? It's hip hop music at the end of the day.
So you're
So
still
if you
saying that
want to
there's no
if
distinction.
you can call it what you want, right?
You're
You
still
could.
saying you're still saying there's no distinction.
I don't think it's a distinction. No.
Okay, finally I got you on the record. Okay,
But I've been saying this.
but
I've been
yeah,
saying this whole
but
time.
that's why I was using
So I've been on the record. I've been saying
so
this. And I'll keep
so
repeating it.
this yeah
Hip
because I
hop
want
music is hip hop music.
so that's why I was using the difference with um like Gamble and Huff versus Dick Griffey and Solar Records. And then, and matter of fact, let me ask you this though. You were saying, because I'm just remembering, I took some snapshots, what you said. You were saying that the fact that they use Zap, which is supposed to be a West Coast sound, if that's the case, then why do you acknowledge that?
What are you talking about?
Why do you acknowledge that if they're using Zap being a West Coast sound, that it's a
Who
West Coast sound?
EPMD?
Yes.
I didn't bring them up. You did.
No, but you acknowledge that they were using a West Coast sound.
No, you said that.
You didn't say that.
You're the one who said that EPMD was basic. People were saying back in the day that EPMD sounded like they were trying to make West Coast music. That's what you said. I didn't say that.
I thought for sure you said that too.
No, you're the one who said that. I didn't say that.
Ooh, okay. And I thought you even mentioned about I think some other guy too.
I didn't
Ace.
even bring EPMD. That was somebody.
No,
The brother.
some other dude I never heard of. I mean, not heard of, but I haven't heard the song. You haven't. You said it was done in '93.
No, I said Master Ace. I said the Sitting
Master
on
Ace.
Chrome album. I said I
Okay.
asked you, what would you call it?
No, but I haven't heard that.
Yeah,
But you said that they
go
were
listen to
using.
that album and then you tell me what you call it.
But you said that he was using West Coast stuff, and he
No, I
happens to be
said
an East
that the
Coast.
concept of the album is kid from Brooklyn, MC from Brooklyn meets West Coast car culture. West Coast car culture. That's what I'm saying. Go listen to the album, and then you tell me what it is.
Oh no.
Just go listen to it. Oh, I look. Give it the ear test. Just give it the ear test. Listen to it. Or we don't have to talk about it. I'll send you the link to the album on YouTube, and I want you to listen to it, and then you tell me.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that. Or let's flip it around. What about West Coast rappers that sound East Coast, quote unquote? What about like the Far Side?
I mean, there you go. You still
wait. I'm using. See, this is
using people's talking points. You're saying?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Because do they sound quote unquote East Coast to you?
Yeah, you would have thought that some of them have a little East Coast flavor to it.
Why?
Because that's their style that they established in the East Coast.
Okay, so do you remember a group? Do you remember 7A3?
Yes, Coolin and Cali.
Were they Coolin and Cali? Were they East Coast to you?
I don't know.
Why not? Because it wasn't gangster.
I don't know, man. Because that. I mean, when you listen to them, it's a little bit ambiguous.
Well, what about Razzcast?
He sounds East Coast, even though he's from Carson.
Well, how does he sound East Coast if he's from Carson?
Yeah, he has the East Coast flavor.
You know, his crew was called Western Hemisphere, right? Not Eastern Hemisphere,
brother. Just because he sound East Coast don't mean he gonna.
Well, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to break down these myths, right? Because again, what I've never liked was that this pigeonholing, because not every
brother.
See, the West. No, hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish. The West Coast sound is more than what you think it is. It's more than what most people think it is. How many people are familiar with the Earthquake Brothers?
I'm not.
Okay, how many people are familiar with the Project Blowed sound?
I'm not.
Well, that Project Blowed came from Good Life.
Okay. I don't.
You was at Good Life.
I was at Good Life, but I didn't write down people's names.
Okay, so after Good Life was Project Blow. But see, people would sit up there and say, well, Project Blow was some New York shit.
Right.
Because you had the freestyle ciphers going on. You have the dance circles.
This is my take on this, fam, before it gets too further. When people have a distinctive style, I come from the school of giving credit where credit is due. So if somebody has a certain style, whether it's in art, music, and it has very distinctive, whether it's Atlanta, whether it's Chicago, because you already know Earth, Wind and Fire comes from Chicago. I give them that cred. I don't sit there and talk about, oh, this is this versus that. It's more like, okay, this is something that's coming from here. So when you're talking about like the standard of bass playing in the Midwest, you throw out Dennis Coffey, which is the probably the best Midwest bass player, white dude. He came up with a song called Scorpio. I know you heard Scorpio, the old one. Remember Jiggling Baby? Yeah. So that bass, that his bass playing was the standard, and the thing was that standard was Midwest. And then just because you said it's Midwest, it doesn't take anything away from anything else. But basically, it's very distinctive. So you know, from where I come from, you give them their props.
Okay. And I agree with that, but I wasn't talking about like bass players, right? I'm talking about hip hop
too, man.
No, but see, but when you tell me that Razzcast sounds East Coast, I gotta push back because he's born and raised in LA.
Man,
he's an LA bred MC.
It doesn't matter, dude.
It does matter.
Bored, fam. You know, if somebody is, I mean, again, you got people that's born in certain areas, but they still project the sound of other areas if they want to. We have that kind of diversity.
That's to say that the entire underground LA scene,
man,
Let me finish. That's to say that a whole entire underground sound that is distinctively LA.
Man,
Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. Right? Because I was there.
Me too, dude. I used to get my hair cut next to
you. Okay, so you were at the Unities. You were at Sessions. You were at between like 1996 and 2005. You
No,
was
it
in the
doesn't.
underground scene.
Dude, that
There
doesn't
was a
matter,
whole
fam.
no. What I'm saying, there's a whole
I was there at
distinctive
a
LA.
shootout. Don't mean that I created the gun.
No, what I'm saying is I'm keeping it to music, and I'm saying that there is a
Right.
distinctive sound that came out of LA that is not associated with quote unquote the LA sound that people would typically associate with, i.e., like anything that's like G
So
Funk.
you're saying that LA has now I'm gonna repeat what you just said. There is a distinctive sound that
I'm
came
gonna
out of
bombard
LA.
you with links. I'm gonna bombard you with links tomorrow. You better listen to every last thing
You
I
just
send
said it.
you.
There is a
No, I'm
distinctive
telling you,
sound that came out of LA. Y'all hear that?
not only
Y'all
did
hear
I
that
say
chat?
it, but I told
Y'all
you
hear
I
that
am going
chat?
to. No, hold on. Not only did
Mm-hmm.
I say it, like I said, I'm going to be bombarding you with all LA bred rap from the era that I'm telling you.
But you're
It's
saying
so
that there's no distinction on one end, and then you
no.
just made a bold statement.
What I'm telling you
Uh-huh.
is when you sit there and say, "Well, it's East Coast," I'm like, "No, it's not."
No, I said he
And see,
had an
and if
East
I
Coast
tell you no, and if
flavor.
I
I'm
give you, and
sorry
I
it
give
doesn't sound
no,
nice,
no, it's
but
not though
that's my
because it's
take.
distinctive. It's actually distinctively LA,
No, I said
and
that he
that's
has
my
a
point.
distinct. I said he has a New York flavor. It doesn't matter if you
And
like
I'm
it or
saying,
not,
and what I'm
but
telling you is
but
that because LA has a distinctive underground sound, it is not New York, it's LA. That's my point, and I'll keep driving it home, and I'll send you tons of underground LA rap to prove it.
yeah, but I mean, the headlocking is not going to get somebody to sway to your opinion.
No,
It
what it
doesn't
is
matter.
for me to inform you because if you listen to a lot more of it, you might, I don't know, you might say, okay, well, wait a minute, I see what you're saying.
No, I distinctively remember a lot of Rascast stuff having have some New York
I'm not
flavor
just
to it.
talking about Raskaz
No,
though.
because that's what we were talking about before. I mean, that's what we were on. So the fact that I'm able to have that observation, that's what I stand on.
But okay, but all his producers were West Coast producers too, right?
It doesn't
Bird,
matter,
Bayard.
fam. Remember, let me see, Jinx, Sir Jinx. What was it? What was his sound for the most part?
What was his sound? His sound was his sound.
What was his sound?
It was his sound.
If you can't answer that, I can't go on with this.
No, I am answering it. It's his sound. That's like asking me. That's like asking me. Well, what's DJ Premier sound? Well, that's DJ Premier.
Wow. Okay.
Wait, because
I
you're gonna
got
say,
you.
well, DJ Premier is East Coast, but DJ Premier is actually from Texas.
Okay,
Did you know
fam.
that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why it's kind of I don't know. It's a bit soufflurious to me, and I'm just saying, like, as a dude who was in the record collecting
Yeah,
and
I
dealing
know.
business and
I
stuff, I don't.
know.
Hey, dude, well, hey,
Uh,
I'm gonna throw it out there. I don't see it like that,
okay.
especially when it
I
comes to
mean, do
LA
we have to
rap.
see things the same way? Go.
No,
Okay, then
we don't.
why is the whole thing to where I'm going to talk until you agree with me?
No. What I said was I will send you songs
Okay.
so that you can listen. You don't have to agree with me, but at the very least, you can open your ears to some of the sounds that come from
So
LA.
so you
Even though people will say it's no, it's LA.
so basically I'm just making this up.
What you're making what up?
What I just said about distinctive sounds.
What I'm saying is that people like Razkaz, that's West Coast. That's we can disagree on it, but if you ask him, he'll tell you he's a West Coast rapper.
But I don't know if you're actually hearing what I'm saying. Did
I
you wait, wait,
dude,
wait, 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 wait? Let me ask you this. Did you
yes,
hear the words that come out of my mouth that said that
I heard
Rascat
the
is a
words that are
East?
coming out
Wait,
of
wait,
your
wait,
mouth.
wait, wait. Let's see. You gotta let a brother answer. We're in court.
Hmm.
Did you actually hear me say that Razcast is an East Coast rapper?
No, you said he sounds like one.
No, I said he had. I said I hear East Coast flavor and flair. I've been
I'd say it's
repeating that
West Coast.
over and over.
I know, and
So,
I say it's
so
West
if you
Coast.
said West Coast, then where do we go from here? We going to arm
Here's
wrestle?
where we go. I'm gonna flood your text message with tracks. That's where
Hmm.
we go.
Okay,
I'm gonna send you tracks. I'm gonna send you a bunch of LA shit,
okay,
and yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
okay.
And what you'll see is that no, LA has a sound to it that's not
So,
associated with
so let me
the
ask you
other
this,
stuff.
because we're both from LA. So, I mean, I embrace my city and everything. Now,
Hmm.
the thing is that you telling me that LA didn't have any influences in the East Coast?
Am I saying that LA didn't have influence on the East Coast?
Yes.
I mean,
from the East Coast. From the East Coast.
LA didn't have influence from the East Coast?
Yeah, that's my question.
LA had its own thing going on when I remember coming up. That's not to say that. Wait, that's not to say that whenever you didn't catch a glimpse of, say, like Blondie's Rapture video, right? Or unless you had, like, I don't know, Beach Street. Unless you saw Beach Street or Breaking and Entering, or Style Wars, right? I mean, how much hip hop in the early days? Let's go back to like early '80s. We're talking like '81, '82. How much of it was on the media? Was in the media like that? How much New York hip hop influence were we getting out here? In all reality,
quite a bit, fam.
Well, I remember quite a bit. That largely
because when that was going on, even though when I was in middle school, where were you?
You said when you were in middle school.
In the mid '80s, where were you?
I was in LA.
No, like what age range were you? I said 84, 85, 86.
So 84, I was in the third grade, second grade, or third grade. I was like 7 or 8.
So how you be throwing it out there? I was there, and I was there too.
I was there also.
So my whole thing was I was actually old enough to grasp that when it was actually hot off the press, where I was even going to clubs and interacting and things like that. So I had the experience. Other people had to relive it. Okay. So that being said,
I was in my older brother's breaking crew at the age of 5.
Come on, man.
I was.
All
no
right,
bullshit. Man. I do audition for the '84 Olympics.
Okay.
But yeah.
But the thing was, like, for example, the standard for, I guess, I want to say the early '80s, it was pretty much the Planet Rock beat for West Coast. West Coast like used the hell out of Planet Rock beat, and you know who was really pushing that a lot was people that was out of the World Class Record crew and everyone else. So they would use. Matter of fact, we talked about that, but they had some other stuff going on with the what do you call it? The what is it? The SP-12 and then the 1200 later.
Well, you talking about the Rolling 808, the stuff they was using to make all that
they
stuff?
were using that because when you talking about I was there, I played guitar for Toddy T. I was in 10th grade.
Okay.
And I did his tape cover, Gangster Boogie. Okay. You know how much that dude paid me? $10.
No.
$10. Okay. But the thing is, as far as the beginning part, the stages or whatever, I was there too. I mean, especially during the real history making stuff, to where it wasn't really as popular as it was later. Matter of fact, you know, people say studio and all that. I was in the studio. You know what his studio was?
It was probably in the garage.
It let me see. It looked like a guest room where a bed was.
Yeah, usually it was like cats in LA who had studios like the ones that I remember back in the day. It was always like that guest house or that little shack garage or something in the back.
Yeah, so yeah, man. So I'm no stranger to it, but I'm gonna tell you straight up. Soon as I saw, because I did like Houdini and all them and Grandmaster Flash, it was still fused into regular funk. It wasn't as separated as it was, even down to Run DMC. But soon as Eric B and Rakim came out, then all those 87, 86, 87 people, for some reason, it was like Pied Piper. It pulled you away from whatever you believed in. And then soon as Public Enemy showed up on Soul Train, it was a wrap. I never looked back until what year I gave you? 93? Yeah, something around 93. After 93, I'm like, I'm going jazz. I'm going acid jazz. I'm doing this. This whole stuff is getting out of control. But no, man.
Okay.
So that's how that was that whole thing to where it goes to like the beginnings. The distinctions weren't really established yet. To be honest, people were just enjoying music, like you said.
That's why this is why I kind of reject it to begin with. I understand there's regionality, right? There's places of origin, yes. However,
Oh, it's 124.
but yeah, that was my whole point, right? Because it should have, to me, there were reasons why hip hop started being marketed like that. And it had a lot to do with what you saw sort of like towards like the middle part of the 90s with Death Row and all the dumb shit.
So you went right back to what I just said. Exactly.
No. All I'm saying is that how I
I'm not saying you're
interpreted.
agreeing. I'm not saying you agree. I'm just saying you're going back to what I said when people start really, really making super distinctions when they start pulling out the beefs with Death Row and Bad Boy Records. You know, is that accurate?
Wait, say that again.
I said you are recapping. I would say recapping when I said that the big distinctions really started to rise when they had that beef between Bad Boy Records and Death Row. Correct?
Well, I'm saying more that, well, in a way, yes. But what I'm saying is that I just I hate like implying that like people do things and hold up that
Let's
people
stick with
do
the narrative.
things.
Let's stick with the narrative that people are trying to put out, and then we can correct them.
What's the narrative that people are trying to put out?
They're trying to put out like certain things belong here and certain things belong there.
Yeah,
Trying to have
yeah,
a very hard line. When I'm like, no, you have people from one side doing something from the other side, and as collaborative, and you have all these different things to where people are giving each other props.
Well, that's why I brought up Master Ace's Sitting on Chrome album as a perfect example. And I'm like, how would you classify an album like this? Like it's an album to actually kind of break those barriers, right? Because those barriers aren't supposed to even exist in hip hop.
Well, EPMD probably was the best ambassadors of that. EPMD, I think that was the best example, dude, to be honest, because it's my thing. You a customer. What's the other one? You got to chill. Those are like super West Coast
Well,
heavy.
like I said, you gotta
let a brother finish, fam. Those were super West Coast heavy type sounds, but at the same time, it was still embraced, even though they were from the East Coast. So there was no separation. It was more like, hey, we still respect you. I mean, we really respect you, and the fact that you use these sounds from this area, we love you even more. And that's when I was in high school. But go ahead, fam. I'm done.
Okay. No, Jay Sean, what's going on, man? What's good with you?
What's good, boss? I just wanted to give my 2 cents on this.
Yeah, what's good?
But to pick up on what Art just said, those you got to chill. Records like that will get played in the West Coast, really because of the funk, samples. The funky samples in the later on Machine Gun Funk was loved in the West Coast because West Coast has a strong funk, foundation. You know what I mean? So anything when you playing that funk music, it's going to translate to the West Coast. Now, what I think underground rappers, I have the albums of Razzcast and all those underground rappers from the West Coast at that time. And the reason why we like them is because they sound like East Coast rappers. The reason what separates rappers regionally, in my opinion, is not tonality or pitch or flow for that matter. It's really the lingo.
Yeah.
The lingo is what separates you. You know what I mean? Look at Ludacris. Without the Southern drawl or using Southern, what they call country grammar, you would think he's from New York.
Yep, sure.
You know what I'm saying? what separates him. Even Outkast talked about this in interviews back in the day. You couldn't tell them they weren't from New York, but they were so country, you know what I mean? And they stopped trying to be from New York. I remember going to Atlanta in 1996, 95, 96, 97. I used to hang out at this place called The Web. And I saw people from Goody Mob in the Web and spoken word. You saw it coming. But down there, they played nothing but straight New York shit. You know what I mean? It was like New York South in Atlanta for a while until it got its own legs. And when the industry came there, then they started drawing on local talent. And local talent started being more and more authentic with their lingo, their talk, their speech patterns. Same thing happened with the West Coast.
Yeah, you know, VC Rome, he said, yeah, Ludacris, because that's what I always thought. Like, he was like Chicago. He's from Chicago or from a suburb out of Chicago before moving to College Park. Yeah. He's not originally from there.
Yeah, so you have this mixture, right? Look at Chicago. Mm-hmm. You got some cats that sound like they're from the East Coast. Some cats that sound like they're from the South. Or some player shit like Do or Die. You know what I mean? You know, there's been this clash because we got black people from different parts of the country that started to self-identify. You know, like I was going to Gary, Indiana when I was a kid in the 80s for the summer. There was no hip-hop there. Everything that you played on the radio was from the East Coast. The influence of East Coast rap is in everybody's DNA. Cause that's where it comes from.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Before it got picked up anywhere, before you got local artists, before you had Too Short or E40, you were listening to, you know, Curtis Blow, and you know what I mean? And everybody else from the West Coast. Exactly. So the influence is always going to be there. And that's the thing with underground rap. Underground rap is always going to sound East Coast because there's this thing about, like, you know, Ruckus Records took advantage of this. They took artists.
See that, Jay Sean, I got that, man. Look, I got to tell you, that's just something, man.
Yeah.
See, when you say things like that, that'll light a fire under cats like me, a lot of dudes from LA.
Well, let me finish. Let me finish though.
I already know where you're going, but
let me finish though.
Hey,
so Ruckus Records took advantage of this, right? So you take somebody like New York cats, right? Pound for pound, we give Royce the 5'9" props because he's a lyrical beast. When it comes to that lyrical stuff and underground stuff, that's really, you know, a core that spread out from the underground of New York that keeps hip hop alive, and other regions take it on. It's no different in Virginia. Virginia, there's an underground hip hop scene, and you know, and then you know somebody like
the Clips, they're from there, right?
Yeah,
cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, Clips.
Matter of fact, the Hamptons and Virginia Beach, that was New York East. I would go down there with my homeboy CL, who's from Hampton, Virginia, and I would go to in their stores and their bazaars, and where you get the mixtapes and it was just like being in New York. Allen Iverson, the influence is it is what it is. You know what I mean? Because it was that's all they had until they got their own identity, until their own artist rose. You know what I mean? Until their own people got on, until their own producers started making tracks and they created their own scenes. So without a scene, what do you have? You had nothing but New York hip hop, and then later on West Coast hip hop, and that's what created that clash between the coasts, because West Coast had a distinct flow. Once West Coast had an identity, got its own identity, and you had people like E40 and
Ice Cube.
Ice Cube before that, but Ice Cube, what's that brother's name that produced?
Well, wait, okay, but see, I think that Cali's a big place, right? So it's sort of like you got to look at it as like LA and the Bay, right? It's kind of two different cultures when it comes to hip hop in California. There's Bay Area rap and there's LA.
Yeah.
Okay, so and like if you go up to the Bay and you say like, oh yeah, you know, it's all Cali, it's all what, they'll be like, no, it's the Bay up here, right? And then down here it's like it's right. So, but I'm saying that I think what oftentimes, and this is just this is like my own personal. Well, I don't want to say my own personal take, because, like I said, there's a lot of cats who I could bring up on a panel, man, and we'll get the schooling cats for days, right? Because there's always been this misnomer about LA rap, and it's always been like this thing where
I know where you're going. I know exactly where you're going.
Okay, well, all right, okay, but the reality, it's the truth at the end of the day, and the fact of the matter is that LA rap has always been multifaceted, always. Okay, and it's always had even the stuff that you wouldn't, quote unquote, what the average listener wouldn't quote unquote associate with LA is all LA. I remember my wife, dude, like she didn't know that Souls of Mischief and LA and the Far Side was like Souls of Mischief was from Oakland and the Far Side was from LA, and that back in the day she used to think that Cypress Hill was from New York, and and they from Southgate.
But here's the thing, and I know Jay Sean's going to touch on that too. Like for Cypress Hill, are you saying too that Cypress Hill didn't have some New York flavor in some of their first albums?
I mean, they admitted that themselves. You know what I mean? So, even to the way they dressed.
But the other thing too, Complex, I'm starting to understand now, because I think he's opposing to the broad stroking of the brand of West Coast. Correct, Complex?
Well, can I finish my point I was trying to make?
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But I was going to say, like, so you had E40 and then you had people like DJ Quick, you know what I mean? And people who will rise in their own stylings in their own culture, because West Coast has a laid back, player style, culture, that comes out of funk. You know what I mean? So when I heard, when we had what we call the G-Funk, I'm not surprised at the evolution. Dr. Dre picked up on it, so the music also informs the flow, right? So when you had Rapper Forte and all these other guys coming out to Sugar Free, you know what I mean? There's a whole sector for that, right? And then you had underground rap, like the Delta Funky Sapien and Casual and all of that. They had a New York influence, but they put a California spin on it. They put California lingo and flow and also information that different type of living, street vernacular that doesn't exist in the East Coast. So that gives its distinct sound. I just listened to all of that when it was coming out. I thought it was dope. That's how I can name all of these artists that came out at that time. It wasn't just Far Side, or it was a lot of different artists.
Freestyle Fellowship is the
Freestyle Fellowship, exactly. I got all those CDs too, by the way. Matter of fact, if you came to my house, Complex, you will be in heaven. I got CD cases and CD cases and CD cases.
Yeah, if you came out here, bro, I'll show you all the vinyl.
Oh, okay. I ain't do all that. I was in the army, and and every time you got a paycheck, we went and got some CDs.
Yeah.
So CDs, and I got all the soundtracks from the '90s, all that shit. So anyway, that was the thing back in the '90s. The soundtracks.
Yeah. So because to V Realm, was it VC Realm?
VC Realm.
He said his first album was East Coast production.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the Bomb Squad, right? The Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad did it.
So
and remember, Ice Cube's first two albums were produced by who? The same producers that produced Public Enemy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
No, wait. The second album, because the first one was
America's Most Wanted.
America's Most Wanted. Then there was whatchamacallit, the Kill at Will EP.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right. You had the Kill at Will EP, and then you had Death Certificate. Death Certificate that was produced by whatchamacallit. Yeah, Pooh and Sir Jinx and all them. So, and I think the Kill at Will EP was also produced by them. So it was only the Bomb Squad. They only produced the first album.
I mean, they had some separate stuff. But what I was trying to say was that what I'm backing up Complex on is that people tend to paint East Coast hip hop with a broad stroke that's all about who banging and yay and all this. When you have a plethora of other things that make West Coast a distinctive sound, because like when you hear a lot of Fender Rhodes in hip hop, that goes more towards West Coast, right? And that's I guess that's during Complex era when you start getting into the mid '90s, because they were really, I mean, the Far Side, they did a lot of Fender Rhodes and some jazz. So there are some things that we don't really give West Coast credit to either. But so I want to acknowledge that.
And the same goes for the Bay also, because the
Bay,
it was the same thing with them, right? We have the same. See, the Bay and LA have the same type of dynamics going on, right? Up in the Bay is 40 Waters, it's Short Dog, it's Mac Dre, Andre Nicotina, it's all that stuff, right? And then on the under, you got Quantum, you had like your Living Legends, you had Hieroglyphics. You had all them groups, and then you come down to LA, and it was kind of like the same thing. It's like you have like the traditional, shit that LA rap to be, and then you had the other stuff, right? And it's always like in California, it's like the other stuff is always something that somebody they're trying to do something else, and we're always like, no, dude, like this shit this is Cali rap too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was like always like with my set, that's why I said that was some major pushback, right? When cats would be like, oh, y'all sound this way, and be like, nigga, what you talking about? We sound from LA. That's what we sound like.
So what would you say would be the LA samples that were most like, or actually the samples that were most geared towards the LA thing, in your opinion? Anybody?
What you talking
about? Funk music.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because I even thought about the Isley Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
That was one. Because everybody keeps saying Parliament and Zap, but I think there was others too.
Yeah.
There were others that
Lakeside used. Brothers Johnson. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. When you hear Brothers Johnson, that's LA, man.
Yeah.
But I'm saying but the other stuff in LA that was being made was sampling other stuff.
Barry White, that stuff, it
was that West Coast player stuff. You know what I mean? And that's what it grew out of. So look, at the end of the day, I think what makes any music distinct for its region is going to be based on the lingo. You know what I mean? And accent. That's what makes it distinct. Because at the end of the day, hip hop comes from New York. All right. So everybody's doing what New York did, and they're just doing their form of it. There's just no way around that. So you can call it LA rap, you can call it Chicago rap, you can call it Texas rap. It doesn't matter. It all came from New York.
You just call it hip hop.
Yeah, exactly. So, but you know what though? It's okay. What's crazy about hip hop is that we never did what we should have did. What we did with soul music and funk. Funk, you know what I mean? Was our music. You know what I mean? Hip hop is our music. It's black. Everything starts somewhere. You know what I mean? Yeah. Blues started in the South. Country music, bluegrass started with black people in the South. I forgot what swing and big band started.
Chicago and
Chicago, and exactly, on the coast and the clubs. It develops based on environment as well. Harlem, so we gotta understand that hip hop originated in New York. So it's always anybody, especially doing underground hip hop, they're going to be trying to get to the root of it, and the root of it is New York gritty hip hop. Now the thing about New York is this, and I'm gonna shut up on this point because I'm from New York and I grew up in hip hop. I was born in '77, so I grew up in the hip hop era. There's a lot of different styles in New York. Corrupt is from the West Coast, East Coast. He's from Philly.
Corrupt?
Corrupt. He's from
Philly.
He's
from Philly, but he grew up in
exactly. So when he moved to Long Beach, he had family out there. He went out there as a kid. Imagine and Jay Shine kept going to Indiana all the time. And then and then I set my roots down there. Mm-hmm. I will be a Brooklyn dude, but I'll be laced with Indiana lingo and talk. You know what I mean? So I will sound different.
Just the same thing.
That's what happened to Corrupt. Corrupt went to the LA, got with his cousins, his families, and all that. Got into the gang culture, picked up gang lingo. You know what I mean? Picked up the flow. Being out in LA, and he became a West Coast rapper. But he raps hard as hell, like an East Coast rapper. He wasn't a laid back rapper. He wasn't laid back like Snoop or Daz. You know what I mean? Or even Warren G. You see what I'm saying? That's West Coast. You know what I mean? Just laid back. In that, in that player flow, yeah, we got the hoe. I got my packs. I got.
Well, wait a minute.
You know what
I mean? That's not all West Coast is though.
I understand that, but the rat-a-tat-tat, underground, street type, hard hitting hip hop, it comes from New York. That's what I think. That's what I think the art's trying to say. It's not that it's New York hip hop per se, because what you do with it is you overlay it with. The experience, the lingo, and the flow of being in LA or being from, the Bay. And then no matter what underground scene you're in, it's going to be different. An underground rapper from LA is going to sound different than an underground rapper in New York. But to the people coming from, if you coming from nowhere, you would think Razzcast or Exhibit, when he first started, was an East Coast rapper. I thought Exhibit was an East Coast rapper when he first started.
No, he actually is.
You see what I'm saying? He
moved to Cali. I think he's originally from Detroit or something like that, and then
Right.
then he went to he was like he lived in New Mexico, I think, and then from there he moved to LA.
Yeah,
What
and the
about
same
what
thing
about
with
MC
DOC.
Breeze?
DOC is from Dallas.
Yeah, he's from Dallas.
Yeah, he's from Dallas.
Where did he get his LA? You know what I'm saying? If you're influenced
straight
by an
from Dallas.
environment, yeah, if you're influenced by an environment,
What,
you know what I
but
mean?
no, but see, with DOC, he actually kind of had more of like a raga style when he would rap.
Yeah,
Well,
He kind of
yeah.
had a little bit of actual raga style,
yeah, he did.
and honestly, it wasn't nobody doing that out here. Like
Yeah, he
DOC,
wasn't. He was
like
the first
like
one doing it in the West Coast. Yeah,
yeah,
right.
but I'm saying DOC, I would even say if you were listening to prototypical rappers of the day, you know, of that of, let's just say that genre, let's just say quote unquote gangster rap, even though DOC was a straight lyricist. Okay, they just put a king's hat on him, right? But he was a straight lyricist. Okay, but I mean, was he West Coast? He's a Texas cat. He's a dude from Dallas with a raga style.
But he's a father of West Coast hip hop.
They're calling West Coast.
I mean, because his rhyme style, when he got down NWA, he was influenced by that.
The album set a trend.
Yeah. He was influenced by the beats. You know what I mean? The production style, how they put records together. He hung with those dudes, picked up their lingo. You see what I'm saying?
He made Dre look real good, dude.
Yeah, and he wrote for all of these dudes. Even before he lost his voice, he was writing all that shit. So
no, he was writing for them, just like Dell was writing for Cube and Yo-Yo and the Lynch Mob and all them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean,
it's just
that when we illustrate it like that, where you know a dude, it's no different than when I bring up the DJ Premier example. DJ Premier is originally from Texas. Right, but see, he's largely credited with a New York sound aesthetic of the 90s.
Yeah, he sure is. Yeah.
Okay, you see, so sometimes it's kind of like, even if he's credited with like a sound aesthetic, that ain't even his place of origin. See, so sometimes you also have to take into consideration where people come from in terms of how their sound was even crafted. Because if Premier, I guarantee you like this, DJ Premier's production would not sound the way it sounded if he didn't come from Texas.
You think so?
Yep.
Because when Premier was coming up, and you gotta remember, Premier also moved to Boston for a while with Guru, and then he moved to Brooklyn. You know what I mean? But the thing is, who were they studying? Right? Who were they studying? Right. You know, like who were they mimicking? Yeah, who were they mimicking? You know what I mean? Like who was they? You know, and then so I gotta ask DJ Premier. DJ Premier in his interviews, everything he talks about is East Coast DJs, East Coast producers. You know what I mean? So even though he was in Texas, he was mimicking that. There was no Texas scene to inform him. He was getting informed by the East Coast.
And this is the reason why I'm saying that, like, him being in Texas is largely what crafted his sound. Because when you have to like dig deeper, dude. Like when you're not in the thick of it, I'm sorry, dude. If Primo was from New York, his shit would not sound the way it sounds. Because honestly, yeah.
I'll tell you why. You gotta show me another DJ Premier.
No, I'll tell you why.
Texas. You got to show me somebody else that even sound closely.
Well, no, the reason why is DJ Premier is from Texas. That's how I can prove it. Because the fact of the matter is that his sound would be more in tune with what you were typically hearing at the time in New York. I'm sorry, dude. Premier, it went next level with it. And I think the only way he could have done that was from an outsider's perspective.
That's interesting. I never would have thought it, but go with it.
I mean, that's a hypothesis. We don't know.
Oh no, it's
the reason why I say that is
it's very much a hypothesis.
You have nothing else. You have no other producers that have come out of Texas, especially in that time, that even sound nothing like him.
Of course not.
So, right.
That's my whole. That's what I'm saying. I think that him being from there, it's just like.
But I got producers in the East Coast that sound like him. You see what I'm saying?
Who that sound like who?
That sound like Premier. Yeah.
No one sounds like Premier, bro.
No. I'm not talking about distinct sound style. I'm talking about as far as how he chops his beats, the cutting and scratching. That's the East Coast thing, man.
No. Okay, wait. Premier had a signature way of doing the cut, the cut choruses and shit. Okay, so that was his distinct sound. Anybody
over what kind of kicks though?
Huh?
What kind of beats?
He was usually
not Texas.
Yeah,
those not. Yeah.
No, he was. He was. If we're talking if we're talking Step in the Arena and Daily There was a lot of skull snaps, like the drums that he was using.
Fest.
Yeah, come on.
Okay, the drums that he was using, he was chopping up a lot of skull
Make
snaps.
my point for you, Complex. Come on.
What?
That drum, those drum patterns and those drum snaps are East Coast. You know what I mean? It was an East Coast sound. Now he of course put his spin on it and his take on it, just like every East Coast producer does. Pete Rock doesn't sound like.
Well, wait, who made that? Who made his sound before him?
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the style. I'm talking about style.
Well, you said it's an East Coast sound, but I'm saying that's DJ Premier's sound. So
all right,
with
DJ Quick doesn't sound like Battle Cat. You see what I'm saying? I mean, that's not a fair comparison. I'm talking about.
No, I said you said he had an East Coast sound. So I'm saying, well,
Yeah.
who is his sound compatible to that you can say that to? I can think of maybe one producer.
Shaheed Muhammad.
No, Said G.
A bunch of people you can go to.
No, Said G from Ultra Mag.
Okay.
If you listen to a lot of their
Tragedy?
loop patterns,
What about
Premier,
Tragedy from Main Source?
huh?
What about Tragedy from Main Source? He had hard kicks and beats too.
No, what I'm saying
People
is that if
people thought the beats that he produced on Nas' album was from his, and they weren't. It was from Tragedy from Main Source.
no, you talking about Large Professor.
I mean, Lost Professor. Thank you. I'm sorry, I said the wrong person.
No. I'm not. No. Because see, I don't hear similarities in Large Professor and DJ Premier. But because
Of
the
course,
way
now I'm talking about no. Complex. Be fair. Let's go back to when Illmatic came out. All right. When Illmatic came out, a lot of people thought the beats that Large Professor did was Premier's.
yeah, they thought It Ain't Hard to Tell was Premier. No, that was Large Professor.
Then you had a chance since the time where they thought a beat that was by Large Professor was also Pete Rock's, and it wasn't. You see what I'm saying? Because there's
right, but I'm going back to Gangstar. Because if I go back to No More Mr. Nice Guy, Step in the Arena, and Daily Operation, I'm sorry, there wasn't. Like I said, I can point to maybe Said G. I can definitely hear influences. Early DJ Premier, I can hear influences from Said G. It basically in how they looped. Because Premier would loop shit off. He would loop stuff in the middle of something and loop it back to the middle, right? And then throw some weird drum pattern up under it and then some weird noise, and you just have Guru just rap monotone over it. But if you go and listen to Ultra Mag, Said G and Cool Keith and DJ Mo Love and Trev, they did the same shit. So I can hear similarities between Premier and like Said G. But there weren't pretty much anyone else that I could hear from the East Coast that you could say Premier sound was quote unquote East Coast. I think Premier gave the East Coast their sound largely. That's what I think.
You're going too far now. He came too late.
I think he did.
He came too late in the game, and that's easy to disprove.
No, I'm talking like I said, the period of albums that I'm giving you, because when Premier really started hitting, it was Step into the Arena, 1991, Daily Operation, 1992. And then it was Hard to Earn, 1994. Okay, and then in between there, J. Rue the Damager.
Right. So we're gonna just pass by. So we're gonna just pass over. We're gonna just pass over the Hitman, Marley Marl, Pete Rock.
No.
We're gonna just throw all
Marley Marl, and all them dudes. Okay, wait. I'm saying that period between like 91 and 94. That's when Premier was hitting. Okay, right. Marley Marl, the Juice Crew, and all that. Dude,
but really complex for underground artists, like Group Home, J. Rue the Damager, who's out here in Berlin, by the way. Shout out to J. Rue the Damager. I met him in Berlin. And I actually was on a line one time going into the tunnel right behind J. Rue the Damager. I met him twice. So anyway, I get what you're saying, but those artists also did not only get their beats from Premier. Premier would do 2 or 3 tracks on their albums. The rest of the album was done by you see what I'm saying? So you can't say they gave.
No, Premier did all the he did all of J. Rue's first album. He did all of Group Home's album. He did the whole album.
Okay. All right.
Bro, we can look it up.
All right.
But didn't Words That I Manifest come out in like the 80s?
No,
that was No More Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Words That I Manifest.
Words That I Manifest. That's on the album No More Mr. Nice Guy. I'm saying
you saying that's not in the 80s? That wasn't.
That was 80. That was 89.
89 and 90. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you go and then you start with Step in the Arena. And
That
when
was
you go step
90.
that, yeah,
Yeah,
step
but
in the arena.
I guess the question I have for you is this: is Premier's production style and sound, is it East Coast influence or is it Texas influence? And you have not proven to me, counselor, that it's Texas influence because there's nothing
No, what I
else.
said, what
You know
no,
what I
what
mean?
I
In
said
Texas like
was
that.
no, what I said was his sound was bred in Texas and that he influenced the East Coast.
No. His sound was bred in the East Coast. He took that sound and made his own version of it. That's what I'm trying to say
He
to you, bro.
learned. He started
There was no
learning.
scene in Texas that
It
was
doesn't matter.
producing.
He started learning how to
What do you
make
mean don't matter?
beats. No, because he literally started learning how to make beats in Texas. He
I
didn't
understand
like
it, but
he didn't
listen
start
to
learning
what?
how to make music when he left.
But
He
wait,
started
wait,
Listen
wait,
to
doing
wait.
that
what?
in
Let's go.
Texas.
Let's go with that. Let's go with that. Are you
Okay,
saying that he learned how to make Texas beats in
that's
Texas,
what I'm
or did
saying.
he take New York
No,
beats in
he's
Texas?
making beats. He's dude. It's
Oh, they
it's a
just generic beats from space. I got
no. It's a no.
Okay.
It's his sound.
All right,
Because the
man.
thing was is that
I ain't taking nothing from Premier. I love Premier.
people in New York emulated him.
Wow.
All right, man.
How
Okay.
can you say, well, it was
Okay.
he's the one influencing the East Coast?
I'm not going to ever take nothing from LA. LA has one of some of the dopest artists that ever
Well, I'm
came
talking
out.
about DJ Premier. We're talking about the East Coast.
No, exactly, but it's like, all right, you know what? Let's go curveball. That's like us taking credit from James Brown. You know what I mean? Everything has an origins. There's a curve. Something has. We got a lot from James Brown, and everybody took from James Brown.
Wait a minute.
Funk artists took from James Brown.
You did not hear me. I literally used James Brown, Funky Drummer, as an example of saying, look, at the end of the day, the reason why I ultimately don't like to make distinctions is because there's ultimately a source sound that it all goes back to, which is where the samples came from.
Right.
That's
but
why I
when you
said
sit here and say that, when you sit here and say that DJ Premier gave the East Coast, New York, where I'm from, our sound. That's it's now you trying to do what I think people are trying to do to you.
No, I know.
Yeah, because
what I meant by that. No, what I meant by that.
No, let me finish. I was born in '77, and I watched the evolution of it. We had all the underground channels, underground radio. Before this shit was even loud on the radio, you only had 2 hours at night. I saw where hip hop came from. We know all the underground artists. We know all the underground producers that came out of New York. And the question I have for you is, even when Premier was hitting in 1989, 1990, 91, 92 to 93, when his beat became prevalent, it was still an underground type beat. What was all the other artists in New York get produced? Every artist that came out of New York wasn't with a Premier beat. You had Heavy D, Big Daddy Kane, you had KRS-One, you had all these different other artists in camps that came out of New York. PE. I mean, like, nobody was using Premier beats. So to say that he gave us our sound.
No, what I said was Premier influenced the New York sound. That's what I said.
They all have just like Soul Brother Number One is influenced.
Okay, but think about what
got Premier started.
Think about
it was
what
not
I'm
Texas.
saying.
Texas didn't get him started.
But
New York got him started.
Okay, think about what I was saying. Because I mean, look, I'm not from New York, so see, I'm going to take myself out of it, right? But what I'm saying is that guess where DJ Premier is from? Where's he from?
He's from Texas. Okay.
Thank you. So the fact of the matter is from Detroit. The fact of the matter is,
hold on. Did Eminem develop his style? Now I got you. I got you in the trick bag.
Go ahead. I mean, you asked me about Eminem.
Did Eminem get his style from Detroit, or he get his style from the East Coast? He says he got it from the East Coast.
Dude, I'm not an Eminem fan. I don't know.
I'm just saying. Look, we can keep going down the line.
Well, no, I mean, now here's the thing. The story is he learned how to rap from Proof.
Hold up, but Proof got all right. So where did the influence come from?
But that's a rabbit hole. We're going down there because don't ask me where Proof learned how to rap. But if you're asking me where Eminem learned how to rap, to let him tell it, it was Proof that schooled him on how to rap.
No. That's being around your friends and people helping you out.
Like I said, I can't really vouch for Eminem's story, bro.
But I can because he said it on multiple.
Okay, well then you school me on it because I don't know Eminem.
I just did. He said he got his influences from the East Coast. When he sat up on speeches, every time he got an award, who did he big up? All East Coast rappers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and Premier did the same thing, Complex. He said I would sit there and listen to these records from the East Coast, and then I would play with and tinker around, and then I would learn, and then I would go on. You know what I mean? I had to learn how to do certain things. We didn't have this in Texas. So even the mechanics of DJing, he had to learn from the East Coast.
No, we're not arguing if he didn't learn things from the East Coast. I'm
So how
saying
did-
he is
so-
I'm going to repeat it. I'm going to repeat it. He is not from New York. He's from Texas, right?
Right.
Okay.
But neither is Pac. Pac is not from LA.
I
Did Pac
know
get
he's
LA
not.
they sound?
That's why I've never claimed, and that's why I've never sat up here and said that. Well, yeah, Pac was a classic or OG or one of the greatest
Right.
West
But
Coast
he
rappers.
influenced the West Coast, but did he give West Coast they
Or
sound?
did the West Coast influence him?
Either way, but I'm just saying.
Well,
But
no,
did he
it's
give-
not either way.
I'm asking you a question right now,
Which one was
Complex.
it?
I'm asking you a question.
What's that?
Did Tupac give Cali their style?
Did he give Cali its style?
No, he did not.
Wait,
he did
no.
not. He-
Is that what you're asking me? I'm clarifying the
yeah,
question.
did he give Cali their style? Yeah.
Hell no, he didn't. He's
Thank
not
you.
from here. How
so
can he
neither
give
did
Cali his
Premier.
style?
Premier
Huh?
didn't give us our style neither.
I didn't say Premier gave you the style. I said
said he-
a lot. I said he influenced a lot of
That's
producers
giving
in
us
New
our
York,
style.
and he's not even
Influence,
from New York.
yeah. Right. Oh,
That's
okay.
what I said. He's
that's
not
a
from
little
New York, but
different,
guess
though.
what he did? He influenced New York.
Okay.
But that's
All
a
right.
little different complex, you know.
Well,
that.
but that's oh my god, dude! I did that. Run the tape. I said that. I said he influenced a lot of New York.
You said he influenced New York. That's why Jay Sean is pushing
I
back.
know, but
hard.
my whole point is he's from Texas.
Now, if you
Okay.
framed it and said he influenced some of the people in New York, that'd be a little different, wouldn't you think?
New York is too deep. It's too the rabbit hole in New York.
I
as
mean,
far as
but Jay
the
Sean,
different type
dude,
of artists,
you know,
and the different
good
camps,
goddamn
man.
well. If I say that, I don't mean that there were literally that. Okay, that would
I
be
mean,
like
'cause you got a
that
whole
would be
crew.
like saying that
You
the
got a whole
Beatnuts
crew
didn't
because,
exist.
like,
That would
make
be
the
like
beats to this
saying.
day. You got people like the
Wait.
Beatnuts. You got the Diamond D.
But I was
you
just
got
about to
Showbiz
go there
AG, you
because
got the Diggity
I
Crates
was
crew.
just
Go
about
ahead.
to go there because I was gonna say, dude, come on, okay?
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of cats in New York, right?
It's ridiculous.
That-
yeah.
Okay, that were influenced, and these are cats that really did largely come up in the indie scene. We're talking late '90s, so we're talking about right after that period where, like I said, it was from Step in the Arena to we'll just go to Moment of Truth. We'll just go to that album.
So let me ask
That
Jay
whole-
Shine. Let me ask Jay Shine. Now, are you going to deny that DJ Premier influenced some of the people in New York?
Oh yeah. No, I would. Look, I said that earlier. I
Okay.
would never take
No,
it.
he didn't disagree
Premier,
with that.
no,
Okay.
Premier's style, because it's dope. That's what I'm saying. Like, we got to get back to just being black people, because we get caught up in these origins, right? But we can't deny that the origin of hip hop comes from New York. So the influence,
never argued that.
So the New York influence is going to pop up in certain scenes, especially in the underground hip hop scene. It's going to sound New York heavy because that's the source of it. That's the root of it. When you talk about doing real hip hop, I can't tell the difference between Bush Babies and Far Side sometimes on some records. The only thing that changes them is their lingo. You know what I mean? When I listen to a Far Side record, certain words they would say that is lingo and slang from the West Coast would differentiate them from the Bush Babies.
But like I said,
as
but
far
Jay
as
Shine,
their-
like I was telling you, my wife used to think that the Far Side was from New York. She used to think that.
Exactly.
But I'm saying the lingo is not. It's not that telling where it's that
So
distinct.
me it is because I'm from New York, right?
I
But your
know
wife is
you are,
not.
but see, my wife was from Chicago. This is
There you go.
this is.
You
this
just
is
made
the
our
reason-
point. You just made the point.
No, but I'm also making my point because
Gotcha.
you're saying that the only difference between the two is the lingo. I'm like, well, not really. My wife was from Chicago and she thought the Far Side was from New York, not from LA.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's where I kind of and then that's where I'm saying no. Okay, this is where it gets. There's a real big gray area, and that's where I'm kind of like, nah, man. Listen, I think every area has multifaceted sounds, right? And I think there's a bunch of people doing different things in different scenes, right? There's different shit going on. And so that's why what I've always tried to do was just say, yo, I just like good shit. I just like hip hop. And I try not to really get too distinctive with it. I really try not to, because this is just a conversation or whatever.
Yeah.
But I remember just like in the DJ circles and like the homie circles and shit, cats when we was just making shit. I mean, these types of discussions used to get like real heated, right? Because like I said, you had the cats like us who are born and raised from LA, who make the kind of music we make. We've always said our shit was LA. So we would take it some kind of way when somebody was like, oh, y'all sound like y'all sound East Coast. And we'd be like, what the fuck? No, we don't.
You know, it's funny. When I went to Atlanta, when I was in 95, 96, especially in 97, when I would go down there, just the way I would dress, girls would take pictures of me. There was a lot of love for New York. You know what happened a few years later? Once people started to identify, once Atlanta and Georgia and Southern rappers
Yeah.
started to identify, they started to have disdain for New York. You know what I mean?
Wait, you said they started what?
They started to have disdain for New York. Yeah.
Disdain? Why?
You from New York. You know, it changed. You know what I mean? And then we went through this weird period where it was like, but that's, you know what that is though? That's competition. That's normal. That's human nature. It's competition. We got our own thing. We not, you know, we not following you. You know, we got our own thing. We doing our own thing, and we want our respect. And that's what was going on between the West Coast and the East Coast, and then the South with everybody. You know what I mean? They wanted their respect. They wanted their self-identify, and that's what really, to me, creates regional music. Is when the roots of that culture, of that region, comes to the front. The way they talk, the way the way they cadence, their accent. When that starts to come to the front, then that to me becomes LA music. That's when it becomes Houston sound, or ATL, or Florida. You know, because Florida got their own thing. You know, you got rappers out of Florida came up with their own type of music. You know,
Uncle Luke.
Yeah, Uncle Luke, 95 South, Trick Daddy. Up to Trick Daddy. It was a different type of, because it comes from how they live, and that's the beautiful thing about hip hop. It's, you know what I mean? Because even in New York, with the diversity of music in New York, let's go back to New York just for a minute before it spread out. You had groups like PE that was different from KRS-One. That was different from Cool G Rap. That was different from, you know, everybody was. We prided ourselves on being original. Everybody in New York had their own shit. You know what I mean? There was no two Redmans. You know what I mean? There was only one Wu-Tang. There was no two Biggies. You see what I'm saying? You know, that's just the way it fucking was. And niggas would fight over that shit.
No,
you know
that's what it was like out here too.
Or whatever, you know what I mean?
Way out here.
Yeah. So Bronx was their own thing. Brooklyn was their own thing. Queens was doing their own thing. I think the only place that probably sounded similar was probably Queens. Queens rappers are probably the only ones that overlap with each other a lot. You know what I mean? As far as their sound, you know what I mean? But outside of that, most cats sounded different. Now, outside of New York, we probably all sounded alike. You know what I mean? But inside New York, you know, we had this plethora of diversity. And that's what I love about Atlanta. Atlanta has T.I., who does not sound like Outkast, who does not sound like Luda. You know what I mean? And that's beautiful. You know what I mean? So I think once regions come up and they self-identify, then you also start getting, unique artists and talents that rises to the top. And then you might say, all right, well, Luda is from the South, but he sounds like he's from Chicago. He might sound like he's from New York 1 minute. You know what I mean? So to me, it's all black music right now.
That's at the end of, that's my whole point. That's why that's really where I'm at with it, man.
Yeah, the origin stories is what it is. And I understand you should feel the way you feel because y'all come from a different culture.
Yeah, we come from here and we make the shit, but like everybody, for us to keep getting told we make East Coast shit, it's like, no, the fuck we don't.
But I'm gonna challenge you with something. I'm just curious. I want to test your ego real quick, Complex.
What's up?
What's wrong with giving New York props?
What's up?
Right, because I give New York props.
What's wrong with giving New York? They do.
No, I give
Southern artists. They do all the time. Because in New York, I give New York, where it comes from. Hip hop comes from jazz.
Check it out.
Soul.
Check it out. I give New York all the props, right? I give all the props it deserves, right? But here's the thing, right? I'm from LA. We make LA shit. That's just what it is.
All right. So what's wrong with sounding like New York? Is somebody saying that?
No. Here's the thing. It's LA shit. It sounds like LA.
Wow. Okay, man.
I'm glad Suge Knight's in jail. I'm glad Suge's in jail because Suge Met Complex. It'd be another East Coast, West Coast.
No. That's Suge.
Dancing all in the videos.
All in the videos, and he'd be humble. He'd be leaning on Complex and shit. You know
come to Death Row.
Come
you can have Death Row. You can have it.
Come to the Black Brain Trust. Come to Black Brain Trust.
I got my own label, Artisan Rep. I got my own label, my own catalog. We own our own shit.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, look, you want me to play awesome stuff?
Dude, when you get the time, man, I'm all ears.
No, I'm just saying, like, you tell me if it's East Coast or not.
Hey, you know.
Oh man, no. He's setting you up, Art.
Now wait a minute, though.
We know what he's doing right now. He's asking if he's fat. You know, do I look fat in this dress?
Oh
That's
yeah,
what he's doing
yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
what he's
You
yeah,
doing
know
yeah,
right
yeah.
what?
now.
Y'all gonna make me. Y'all
Yeah,
gonna make me
And
prove
then
it
when we tell
straight.
him what he don't like to hear,
I mean,
oh
make
boy,
me prove
you just take your own.
y'all gonna make
You
me
just take
prove
your own
it.
self to the party. You just take
now
your own self
don't
to the
do.
party.
He's setting you up. All right, I'm just letting you know what he's about to do to you.
Nah, no. Like I said, man. You
So you're
know,
going to say it's like,
we
nah, that kind of sounds East Coast right there. See, that's what
nah,
I'm talking about. Y'all be hating on LA, and it's going to turn into this. You know, he's going to bang on you.
man. No, I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you. I'm telling you. Like the stuff I would play. Okay, so when look, people out here would hear it and they would be like, "Well, what is it?"
Mhm.
They'd be like, "What is that? That's hip hop, right?"
Yeah.
Oh,
They
you
were like,
mean
"Well, it's like some electronic shit, you
drum and
know?"
bass?
Yeah, huh?
You talking about drum and bass? You doing now?
No, like, well, some of the stuff we did, like, some of the stuff we did was just, I don't know. Some of the okay, so we had projects where there would be some rap on it, and then it'd be some electronic shit, and then it'd be like maybe like some atmospheric stuff, or it could be some beat stuff. But we kind of approached it like we were making hip hop. But then we play it for people, and they'd be like, what do y'all call this?" And so we just started saying it was electronic to
Yeah.
make it easy.
I think we need to get off the West Coast, East Coast thing. One thing I loved about the recent movement, I might not like all the records, but Rick Ross and Khaled and Wayne and up to French Montana and Fat Joe, you just saw this collaboration. And I think that's where the game needs to be at right now. The embrace. New York embraces the Migos. You know what I mean? So it's like, we need to stay right where we are.
Yeah,
And just let dope music rise.
but if you
You know,
think about it, Jay Shine and Complex, the distinctions really were established in, I would say, what would you say, the early '90s and then earlier? Because
yeah, it
after
had to
that,
be.
it started to be more
Right.
collaborative.
Yeah, because everybody started working with each other. West Coast DJs and producers are working with East Coast artists. East Coast artists are working with West Coast artists. Down
Yeah.
South artists are working with West Coast artists, and you know what I mean. So it's all blending in. These producers from the West Coast, remember they had the game for a little bit, for like a good 4 year stint. The YGs and those guys. You know what I mean? That sound, everybody wanted that sound. So even LTL rappers wanted that sound. They wanted that. You know what I mean? So not
Because after
YG.
Pac
What's
and
the?
Biggie, because
I'm
after
talking
Pac
about
and Biggie
DJ
got
Mustard.
killed,
Yeah, DJ Mustard and what's the other brother's name?
I wouldn't
That's
know.
out there.
Oh,
He's
you
an
talking about
artist.
some? Yeah, there's some of like the producers. They do like some of the newer cats.
Yeah, and then even Chris Brown and all those guys were using. You know what I mean? They was getting those producers because that sound was hitting, and I think that's what's going around right now. Whoever sound is hitting at the moment, you know what I mean? That people like, that's hitting in the clubs. That's who's going to get paid, and that could be a West Coast producer, it could be a down south producer, but it'll be a different artist from all over the country on his beats. You feel me? So that's what's happening in hip hop. It's good and it's not good. It's good for business, but I don't think it's good for.
Hit Boy,
Uh,
that's who it was.
yeah, I don't think it's good for the culture because back in the day we had distinct sound. Let's go back to California. Ice Cube did not sound like DJ Quick.
He sure didn't.
Too Short doesn't sound like E40. And they from the Bay.
Yeah.
No,
Don't
You know
forget
what I'm saying?
Shock
you
So
G.
couldn't do that. You couldn't do that out here. You
yeah.
couldn't do that out here on the West
So
Coast, man.
the
You couldn't
beautiful
be
thing
Shock
about
G,
hip
Shock
hop
G
back
didn't
then,
sound like Paris.
I forgot about the whole crew. I forgot about De La Soul and Tribe Called Quest and I mean, come on, man. Like we got a deep bench in the East. I just want to say that. I'm gonna keep saying that shit.
Wait, you got a what?
deep bench. We had a deep bench in the East. You know what
Well,
I mean?
I mean,
A deep
the
bench.
thing is, man, like the fact of the matter
And you're not
is
gonna
that
tell me Tribe Called Quest and De La Soul did not influence a lot of underground rappers too.
no, dude, one of my best homies, dude. His
Mhm.
production partner is Ali Shaheed Muhammad. They have a
Okay.
group called the Midnight Hour. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay, like, yeah. To say that Ali Shaheed Muhammad and a Tribe Called Quest wasn't like one of our favorite groups growing up. I mean, come on,
Mhm.
dude, really?
Yeah.
He's only his production partner now, right?
Yeah.
But I
But
mean,
here's the beautiful
the
thing about
reality
all of
is
it, though. Here's the beautiful thing
is
about all
that
of
we
it.
had what hip hop had back then was a higher standard.
Hell
See,
yeah.
so no matter where the music came from, and this is why I don't like distinguishing like
Right.
locales, because what I looked at it all was good black music, and
Mhm.
what we had a standard at a time where the majority or a good portion of the shit that we used to put out was actually quality and good.
Yeah.
Okay, and what happened is that a whole bunch of artificial constructs got put into it from a cultural standpoint. This is where the artificiality of quote unquote East
Right.
Coast and West Coast. Like, look, if it's like I know a rapper is from New York and this rapper is from LA, whatever, right? But see, to me, hip hop music is hip hop music, so I don't
Hmm.
care about the location as long as
Now,
it's good.
now, now,
But
how
see,
would you know?
when it becomes a cultural construct, right, which then crescendoed into some bullshit that happened in the mid '90s that we know about, right?
Yeah.
And it really does. It put a stain
Yeah, and
on a
you gotta
very
let it go.
powerful
You gotta let
culture.
it go, Complex. All right,
Yeah, you
Uh,
gotta let that go,
you gotta
fam.
let go, because you're gonna keep people killed, man. Every time somebody say you sound like you from New York, you gonna smack them
Man,
upside the head.
no, dude,
Yeah, because
no.
it's not
Yeah,
about
y'all,
beef. If you just want to make distinctions, it's not about
dude,
beef or
no.
anything.
I'm just saying. I'm saying what something like that was used to put a wedge into the culture.
You know
No, it
what? You
can
know
be.
why? You know what? I'm gonna give you the reverse side of it, Complex. In New York right now, well, not right now, but recently, there was this big thing about New York rappers not trying to sound like New York and trying to sound like Southern rappers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's where the money's at, right? So, and that's a real thing, But then, so we had a rash of new artists that came out recently that bring it back to the East Coast, and they're gonna have to take the sacrifice before East Coast music even rise again. But really, what matters is production, right? Because that's what moves the asses, that's what moves the feet. So it's about not just fine tuning East Coast rap, but fine tuning the East Coast sound, And
But Jay Sean, what's curious about that is that during all that time though, you still had you still had a lot of rappers in New York that's
mhm.
really making like dope next level shit.
Yeah, it
And
is. Yeah.
my issue is it's like with a lot of things, dude. It's like, okay, I know what's cracking in LA. I know what's
Mhm.
cracking in New York. I know what's cracking in the Bay. But why is it that the people like there don't know what's cracking? Right? Like, why is it that I know about cats in New York who's really putting it down for New York, but somehow it's the
Mhm.
dudes in New York who's trying to rap like niggas in Atlanta that's getting over in New
Yeah.
York?
Well, a lot of that's industry too. Same
Well,
bullshit that
so
happened in the
okay,
90s.
so that's and
Uh,
you know what, that East Coast West Coast shit was a lot of industry shit too.
yep.
Okay, and this is why that's why I said there's the cultural side to it, and then there was the media play, because you got to remember this shit was all in the source magazines, remember, on the
Hmm.
covers, and it was it was all in the media, it was played up, dude. There was a lot of drama and shit, and two great black artists had to die over some dumb shit.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. What
So
really needs to happen is
yeah,
we got to, I hate to say this because I'm not trying to gender bang or nothing like that, but we got to there's too many black women in charge of the culture right now. And what I mean
is
by that
there?
is that,
I'm not even paying attention to who's running shit. Like, what do you mean by
I
that?
mean, I'm talking about, and when you go to these labels,
Hmm.
it's sisters, and when you go to BET, and it's sisters,
Oh, you're
yeah,
talking
you
about
see what I'm
the
saying?
media
So
outlets
the
and
award shows, sisters, so it's like, these professional sisters, that have been elevated, to certain levels. They're running the culture right now. I'll give you some bullshit that happened on VH1. There was a show, a throwback show, Method Man was in it. It was about the beginning of hip hop. And then, of course, they made the main star a black chick, and she was supposed to be influencing the beginning of hip hop. She was running around, trying to get rappers on and all that. And then, of course, she was laid up with his addy. You see what I'm saying? This is the
mm,
fuckery, and they casting aside the actual story of hip hop, shit that black men built. You know what I mean? That black, you know what I
wow.
mean? You know what I'm saying? And this is something about, this is a cultural thing. We have to take our culture back, because when we had our culture, we cared about excellence, what you just
Yep,
talked about. We cared
yep.
about flow and skill and all that. But now it's not about that no more. It's just about what shakes asses. So the women from top to bottom, for whether it's the professional sisters that are running the industry or the sisters who are buying the records and filling up the clubs, that's why the music is getting
That's
dumbed
what they
down.
geared towards them.
It's
Yeah,
geared towards that dumbing it down, because it's geared down to a low level, a low frequency of just what shakes the ass. You
and
know what
then
I mean?
you already know
They
whatever
don't
brings the
care.
chicks to the clubs, the dude's gonna follow.
Exactly. But here's the thing: when we were ruling hip hop, even though we were, worried about skills and production, and and we would sit around all day, the women followed us because that's all they had. You know what I mean? And so we have to get our culture back as men. We got to start looking at it that way. You know what I mean? We got to take our culture back, and it's not just from them. We got to take our culture back from the dominant society, which is running our shit right now. They decide who come out. They decide what rocks and what doesn't. You know what I mean?
Well,
They decide that this bang bang and kill and pill. They decide all that gets the green light and gets the budget versus Kendrick. You see how they trying to put Kendrick Lamar to bed? They're like Kendrick Lamar couldn't be stopped because he's just that dope. But you see they're not. You know what I mean? They see this guy can make money, so why they not trying to elevate him? You see what I'm saying?
Because he's not going, dude. He's not going. You know, he's not. You see what I'm saying? Ain't that kind of MC. That's all I can say.
He has a good camp.
Yeah, he's not that kind of MC, man.
You know what I mean? But I'm just saying. But his type of music is what should be running the game. That Pimp the Butterfly album is a classic album. That Pimp the Butterfly album was fusion rap with jazz and soul and funk. It was a beautiful album. I don't know who produced it. All the producers and writers that worked on the album. The Pimp the Butterfly to me is bigger than Kendrick. It's a work of art.
Credit. This dude sat in my class during lunch for like 2 years and give me no damn credit.
That's fucked
up. I sound like Little Richard. But
but that album and the one before that, Mad City. That's what hip hop's supposed to be. That's what not hip hop. That's what black music is supposed to be. Because remember, hip hop is an amalgamation of jazz and funk. We was in the East Coast. Those guys were digging in the crates. They were bringing the past. They hip hop connected me to my past.
Me too.
Every time I would get an album or a CD, I'm looking at the credits. I would learn and we cared where the music was coming from. We cared where the samples were coming from. We were learning. It was a thing like in the hood where I came from. You know what I mean? It was a thing like, oh shit, this came from Count Basie. You know what I mean? It's dope how he mixed that with,
on the behalf of Complex is concerned, the Fender Rose is ours. I'm joking.
But you know what though?
We didn't care. About Parliament is that.
Here's the weird thing about it. As East Coast was developing and all the production, we didn't care where the music came from, as long as it was dope. We didn't care that it came from the West Coast funk scene or the Ohio players, and we didn't care if it came from down south blues. It was all about bringing back the music. That's why you say when you listen to that "Fight the Power" song from PE, he starts the song off. Damn, another summer, sound of the funky drummer. You know what I mean? They giving ode to the past. It was linking us to our past, and that's what music is supposed to do.
Well,
you know I mean? That's how it's supposed to be.
I would say, okay, yeah.
I don't think you're a Kendrick Lamar fan, right? I don't think you. Huh? You're not a Kendrick Lamar fan, are you?
No, I fucked with Kendrick. My boy produced, that Untitled album or that Untitled EP that
was dope too.
Okay, track number 6. My boy produced that shit.
You got a lie to kick it with, nigga.
Yeah,
you ain't got a lie.
Didn't I see that picture of me? But Jay Sean, didn't I send you that picture of me and Kendrick?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure. All right.
Yeah, no, I fucks with Kendrick heavy, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm saying that
I love the fact that he cares enough about the music that he wants to bring back that Untitled album. If you was to close your eyes and change the pitch to make it sound like Q-Tip, you would think that was a Tribe Called Quest album. That shit was so dope.
Did you ever listen to a Tribe Called Quest last album?
Banging. People slept on that.
The last one.
Yeah, my favorite album track when that joint is Ego. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's my shit.
Man, that's
we had Jack White on the guitar. I mean, we're talking about dope artists, man. That's album. That's black music at its best.
It's a way to go out.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Fife was sick.
Because Fife passed. Yeah. But damn, dude, that sounded like a fucking classic Tribe album.
It was a classic Tribe album. I told people that on the
live stream. It kind of reminded me like of Midnight Marauders a little bit.
That shit was nice, man. That was
bugging.
Yeah.
That last Tribe album is incredible.
It's
man.
Dope. It
should have got an award. It was dope. I mean, it was beautifully produced. It was beautifully arranged. It was insane. It was rock. It was soul. I mean, it was jazzy. I mean, that shit was fire, man.
Dope, man.
Yeah.
Dope. Yep.
And nobody claimed it. Yeah. And you know what though? And no one cares really. You know why? And I don't think Q-Tip cares because Tribe Called Quest is still locked into that slave contract. So I think they did that album, and the reason I love it, they did it for the culture. You know, they were like, "We're going to do one last album. It's going to be a piece of work, and we're going to leave it alone."
Yeah, because you know what it was. Fife, like his health took a turn, and that's when they decided to do the album because dude, there was no they didn't know like how long he was gonna be
Yeah, just
around.
to give a little bit of money, right?
And
But
then it was like, look, man, if we're gonna do this, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
yeah, if we're gonna
yeah,
do it, man, let's do it.
do it, yeah. And they
Yeah,
did it. They
and
did it pretty much. They
he
did it
did
for
it.
music and they did it for the culture. This is what Q-Tip
Yep.
said. Because Tribe Called Quest, a lot of people might not notice. Same thing with Main Source, and the same thing with Premier's group, Gangstar. They locked in the slave contracts. They're not making money off those albums.
No.
You know what I mean? And that's why they walked away. And that's why you wonder why cats are not touring or not making new music and they walk away from projects and they start new groups. That's why.
Yeah, I
You
was
know what
gonna
I mean?
say that's why
Yeah.
Ali and my boy Adrian is they're doing the midnight hour thing.
Yeah. You know,
Yep.
and I appreciate all those brothers, man. They are so part of the culture. Complex, me and you are like, because in DC, we probably hang in similar spots. You know what I mean? You hang out underground spots in Cali.
Hmm.
I hang in the underground spots in DC, you know, and we both know there's nothing better than getting head from an herbal chi chick. But anyway, that's another live stream. That's a whole nother
Hey,
live stream. But
that's West Coast. No, I'm
yeah, but
joking.
that's a whole nother world. You know what I mean? The underground
Oh
black
shit.
scene, the black underground scene is a whole
Oh
nother
boy.
world. You know, and it's a beautiful world. You know, of just talented black people who just want
I'm,
to express themselves.
listen, man.
And then we have
I
other
mean,
people from other cultures come in from time to time. It might be a Hispanic that might pop up at a certain club or a white boy that show up every now and then, but they really good. You know what I
but
mean?
look, if you guys noticed this whole time in the background, I've been playing drum and bass,
Yeah.
which is you know, and I know we've been going on for damn near 3 hours, so I'll cut it short here in a couple of minutes, man. But you know, even during that time of hip hop we were talking about, right? So a lot of this stuff that I've been playing, this is like all old school drum and bass. This is all like from like the mid 90s. Okay, so
Would
there
you
was
call that
also,
Euro?
huh?
Would you call that Euro drum
Euro,
and bass?
it was. This is basically it's like this is all like in the UK. This is what really
Okay,
that whole sort of jungle drum and bass
I figured
scene
that.
was really it jumped off in the UK, and I would say like 90 around 92, 93. You know, I started getting hip to like some like the DJ Ron stuff and DJ Crust and Ronnie
Yeah.
Size and all that, and like this stuff is basically hip hop production on steroids.
Yeah.
It's way more sophisticated, way more. It's way more technical. It's advanced. Okay, and I think it's advanced to the point where, and if you even go back and you know and go look at a lot of the reviews of a lot of the albums and stuff that came out, you know, you had the LTJ Bookums, you had you know, your Dillinges, you know, your Fotex, you had like just man, the sounds that was coming out of the UK, the whole jungle drum and bass scene was just crazy, and it was like the music was melodic, it was soulful, it was raga, it was rough, you know, the shit was daunting. I mean, it was there was so much you could do with it, and all it was just pitched up break beats that are just chopped into like 30 seconds and 64ths, and you can hear it in the background. And so, you know, with me at the time in the 90s, like, you know, I was like I said, I was really messing with trip hop, I was messing with underground hip hop, the regular hip hop stuff, breaks, jazz, all of it. But drum and bass, man, was so fucking advanced. And honestly, it was almost like this shit was like some music from the future. I gotta be real with you. And when I go
Mhm.
back, and I've been really like on some drum and bass shit like over the last like month and a half or so, and I'm just reminded of how advanced this music was. And like, there's people that aren't even really hip to this. Like for some of like listen, like the stuff that you're hearing, man, this shit was done in the '90s,
Mhm.
right? And it's like even people today can't even grasp like this type of shit. That it's some old music is too advanced for modern people. Think about this shit. Modern black music. This is a form of modern black music, but it's too advanced for even like your average modern black person today, right? And so I even think that like these types of sounds need to be reintroduced,
Mhm.
right, to actually advance it. Because you know, look, I'm kind of I've come to terms with hip hop. right? Its imprint is global. There's no taking anything back at this point.
Nope.
What we failed to do was secure the IP, the intellectual property in it. That's what we failed to do.
But you know what
But
though? I'm not worried, Complex. You know why?
Mhm.
Because one thing I know for sure is going to happen with black culture is we're going to create something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I think we just got to keep learning from the past. And like I said, going back to the slave contracts and not controlling the industry, we weren't ready to come out. New York rappers, the first, initial rappers when the ones that started messing with the labels, they have some of the worst contracts in the history of music.
yo, man.
You know what I mean? And it's a shame because it's some of the most classic shit. That's why you don't hear it because you got to go to the white boys to get it. You know what I mean? It's not something they control. So salute to Jay-Z and others like that who broke out, and started getting their own masters and control their own stuff. But I think Southern rap came along and they helped a lot of that out because you had bad contracts in the West Coast too.
Well, that was why. Dude, I was doing independent distribution. That was what
Yeah,
my business did. I
yeah.
pressed and I
So
distributed on an independent level. So like
yeah, we got so much
we could
genius
circumvent and get
culturally,
around that shit altogether.
creatively. We're geniuses, but we just didn't have the business side.
Right.
And we got to stop doing that. And
Yep.
that's been the biggest issue with our culture since the days. So look at rock music.
Do
You know
all
what I
of
mean?
it.
It's like we never was part of it. The gods of rock. What are you talking about? Talking about Chuck Berry? No. It's talking about ACDC. No. What the fuck you talking about? ACDC's he's doing the leg kick, hop across the stage like Chuck Berry. You know what I mean? It's and then there's so many unknown and forgotten brothers that came out with incredible rock music back in the day.
Yeah.
Intricate rock. I mean, these guys are way before their time.
Look,
Just
look.
insane with music.
I posted a leak on Art's live stream a couple nights ago. I posted a link. There's a group called Death. Okay, it was a
Yeah.
group of three brothers from the East Coast, right?
Mhm.
1973. It's called I think it's an album called it's called For the World to See. 1973, basically credited literally as the first punk rock album ever. Dude, the Sex Pistols, okay? Sex
Get
Pistols got
credit.
their shit from them.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Sex Pistols are largely credited with being the first punk group. And
Look,
no,
man.
it was a black
Black
group called Death.
Sabbath, Pink Floyd, Rolling Stones all got sued and lost cases for music they stole. You know
Yep.
what I mean? For black artists. Matter of fact, the Rolling Stones guys, not the Rolling Stones, the Beatles got started as a cover band. They were a
Yeah,
cover band. They were
they were a
covering
cover
black
band.
music.
Yeah.
From that we threw away. That's another thing we keep doing. We keep throwing shit away. We got these. They were digging in the crates. They were finding like one hit wonders or just these obscure black artists from like Georgia that was doing like bluesy rock, and they would take that and do it over. And it was basically their first album ever. If you go into the archives, it's basically a cover. It's a cover band album.
Now,
You know what I mean?
interestingly enough, you know who used to do that in reverse? Luther Vandross. Luther used to like some of the songs that he sung that he
His
would
big hits, yeah, like Superstar and
yeah, these were
yeah,
like dude, these were like
yeah.
songs like from white people like you just didn't even
Yeah, he
you
took a
ever-
Carpenter song. The Carpenters did Superstar, and matter of fact,
and
they
then
played it in.
he remade
The original, right? It was played in what's that movie with the not the Punisher, Ghost Rider, the original one with
was
what's
it
his,
Nicolas
Nicolas Cage?
Yeah,
Yeah, when he comes home from from drunk from his race before he gets his powers, the song is playing in the background, and it
it's
sounds
the
nothing like
original one?
Luther's song. It's
Yeah,
the original.
it's the original one.
But
Yeah,
what
dude.
Luther did with it,
Dude.
oh my god! I mean, and Luther has some incredible musicians around him.
Man, he would
And
take
Luther-
these songs and just completely remake them.
Exactly,
And you'd
it's
be like,
long
wait a
history.
minute, that's a remake?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, a complete remix, and
Yeah,
that's how.
but,
That's harder than making an original song sometimes.
But the Carpenters, man, they were big. They were pretty big for their time, though. The
I'm glad they
Carpenters.
cleared it too. I'm so happy they cleared it because the Carpenters don't have no ego. They made their money. They were old. You know what I mean? They didn't care.
Mhm.
Just give us our cut. And they allowed that to go forward. And
Yeah.
but here's another thing about Luther. Fun fact. He used to work with David Bowie as a backup singer when he was with Change before he got with Change, and he was teaching David Bowie how to sing on R&B records because David Bowie was just a rock. He was like
Who was this?
David
Luther
Bowie.
Vandross.
No, I'm talking about Luther Vandross was teaching
Yeah,
David Bowie.
Yeah,
Oh,
and he was working with him. So David Bowie, when he turned his corner in the '80s and started making a lot of money, it was Luther and Nile Rodgers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Nile Rodgers, man, they don't give him enough props because Nile Rodgers
he's a god.
He was the one that really changed the game for pop singing.
Him and Kashif, Nile
man.
Rodgers, and there's another brother.
He wrote for Billy Idol. Yeah. I'm like, God damn.
You go listen to Kashif records in 1979, 1980. You listen to Kashif records.
Madonna.
Those little sounds he used to do all the time. Then you would hear those sounds in artists like Working Men with still certain sounds. These pop sounds.
And that was him.
That was Kashif, and Kashif had a production deal with guess who? Claude Davis. You know what I mean?
The drummer from Chic turned out to be the drummer for the Power Station.
There you go.
Y'all know that?
Yeah.
I was like, shit. So we don't get that credit, man.
When we look at pop music in the '80s, all of it was undergirded by black artists, producers, musicians. I'm talking about the white artists that got big. Their sounds were changed by black artists, and it would never
Def Jef right now, like Complex said. Def Jef is the man at Disney right now.
Disney. Wow. Like all that when Disney show, kids shows started really kind of getting kind of urban. Again, kind of getting the little hip, little urban swag with the music and all that stuff. That was all Def Jef.
And he's West Coast. No, I'm joking, but yeah.
Even the red pill genre. The red pill genre. I think Married with Children, right, started the red pill genre of comedy shows.
The brother, the writer.
Yep, it was a brother.
It was a brother, right? Yeah,
writing that shit. So, we've been into it's. Look, the cat's out the bag. Turner, Flink and Monkey and Veganator, when those guys were out here running around with the red pill stuff and the MGTOW stuff, they already on record saying that the original MGTOW and was a black man. You know what I mean? They looked to us and how we were treating women in the 70s and 80s to how they want to react to the feminism now. You know what I mean? And we already had that reaction in the 70s and 80s. The problem with black men
when he created No Ma'am.
No Man. Yeah,
and shout out to Dollar Will because he was talking about even how Lionel Richie was waiting for white folks. Remember, Lionel Richie wrote "Lady."
Prince.
He wrote for Kenny Rogers.
Prince wrote for a lot of white people too. You didn't know that.
Prince wrote all that shit. He wrote for the Bangles.
Yeah.
The Bangles and Bananarama. He wrote for them.
He had all those
Sinead O'Connor.
Those associated groups that he had. There was one called The Family.
Screams of Passion.
Stevie Nicks got 2 songs from Prince.
He wrote for Stevie Nicks.
I mean, these cats get busy. I mean, look, I listen to greats like Phil Collins. I'm a big Phil Collins fan.
Yeah, I got a lot of his stuff.
And Phil Collins was in the interview back in the late '90s.
I got a couple of Genesis too.
Yeah, I love that. That dude he's an extreme talent. So when he was in the interview, he said, when my creative process starts, I'm thinking about what's Prince doing right now.
Yeah, he's Motown. He's all the way
he
Motown.
put that on the record. The guy that wrote the song for Dirty Dancing? Time of my life.
The Everly Brothers.
That white guy, right? That wrote that song. Yeah. And then the other guy, he also wrote that song for Top Gun.
Kenny Loggins?
No, the one they was singing in the bar when he was singing to the girl. You Lost That Loving Feeling. That white guy.
That's the Everly Brothers.
He was on Jules. He was on Jules and Jolin. And I was watching Jules and Holland. There's a show that comes out of UK. People right now don't know about it, but I was watching it on the internet. And then they do this like battle of the bands type thing where bands go back to back. And they interviewed him at the piano, and he listed like 20 black artists that he grew up listening to in America, and he just wanted to sing like them and be like them. He was going to.
They gave black people props.
I mean, if you listen to these interviews, say Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton was in an VH1 interview. They was calling him the greatest guitar player of his era, and he was like, "Really? Is Prince dead?"
You know the story though between him and Jimmy.
Yeah.
Now, I hope that is a classic scene. Mm-hmm. Is that because remember, you had the Beatles and everything, but as far as like skilled people, even though they were skilled, they were just a higher level of the Beatles, still copying black music.
Yep.
So what's his name? Eric Clapton had his own place, and at the end of every show, he always has somebody to come and try to challenge him.
Mhm.
And so I guess I believe this was Keith Richards' wife. She brought Jimi Hendrix at this place,
Ah,
and y'all know where this is going. So she, he was like, okay, y'all know what time it is, and we already come up here and declare the winner. Then whatever, I don't know what happened as far as what you get, but as
Mhm.
far as you declared the winner, then you the man. So Jimi Hendrix first, Eric Clapton did his little thing. And remember, Jimmy straight from the Chitlin circuit and all that. So
Yeah.
he knew all the tricks of trade. So he went up the stage and he was like gyrating and licking the guitar and doing all kinds of different stuff. You know what Eric Clapton did?
But
He just dropped the guitar and walked off the stage in his own place.
look, they all get
yeah,
it from the greats,
I want no
man.
part
And
of
you
that.
know, I'm gonna
Bruh.
tell you something that's really you might enjoy this. You guys can look this up. Daryl Hall, Hall and Oates, when they
Yeah.
did their Hall of, because they come from the Philly scene, so
Yeah, they
they
get
love they
props.
love Gamble and Huff. They always give Gamble and Huff the props, and the other brothers that showed them the ropes. But when they did their they was getting inducted to the Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. John Oates went up. He thanked his family. He thanked his, his management and all that kind of stuff, and his kids and all that. Daryl Hall got up there and showed his ass. Daryl Hall went up there and said he named like 3 or 4 black artists from Philly that should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know what I
Damn.
mean? He went on some protest shit. You know what I mean? Like, like this is bullshit. I want to thank Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but this artist should be in here. This
They
artist
should
should
be in
be in here.
here.
Yeah. I mean, he was talking about who he got it from. And so people like that I respect. People like Michael McDonald I respect, 'cause they respect the culture. They know where it comes from, and they never act like they created it. You know what I mean? And I can respect that, because if you're talented, you're talented, and those men are talented, just like Phil Collins is talented. You know what I mean? But he never disrespected where it comes from. You know what I mean? It's
Nah.
just the industry does, because they want to put a white face on everything, and we get diminished. And it's unfortunate. But one thing I'll never worry about, Complex, is us creating something new.
But even
No,
though
no, that's not even like I guess because we'll always create, right? We'll
Mhm.
always do that, and we'll always find inspiration in things
Yeah.
to create things. Like, well, there's always going to be things that's going to spark an idea, and somebody's going to do something different, or just strike on something. That's always going to happen. I just think that what we could benefit in doing is like actually uh, putting a lot of value into what we do in terms of like
Right.
our creations, our art,
yeah,
and then even so much so to the point where, like you were saying, like from the business standpoint, like that was the reason why I got into doing the music thing, doing it from from like the distribution and doing all that kind of stuff. It's the shit. It's the part of the business that's not glamorous. You don't get any exposure. No one cares to know your name really, right? Unless they want to get
Mhm.
something done or something. But it's not sexy at all. But you know what? Like me taking that role in that enabled me to like help dudes out and not get jerked.
Right.
Right, where it's just like, okay, well, shit, man. If you got 2,500, man, we could do a run of 1,000. We'll flip we'll flip 700 of them, use 150 for promo, blah blah blah, get the money back. We'll do another run. I used to have to school cats on how to build their labels up.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But what they found it empowering, dude. They had boxes of their own shit at the house,
Yeah.
right? Loading the car up, going to do shows, man. They got boxes of merch and shit, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Mailing CDs out, like, oh, yo,
You know
hey,
who
I got.
one of my favorite heroes right now, one of my idols, probably in the top 3, is a guy named Al Heyman.
oh wow.
Al
Do
Heyman,
you know how he
before
looks? Have you seen his? Nobody
Yeah, I know
seen.
what he looks like, but
Okay, because it's hard to
it's only
find a
like you only
picture.
can find like one picture of him, and that is so gangster to me. You know what I mean? I love that. I would love to be. I don't want to be seen. I
Yeah.
don't want to be seen. I don't care to be seen. Just respect my. You know what I mean? And one thing I would. Al Hammond is known for boxing now, but Al Hammond actually is a big wig. A big player in the concert promoting game. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, and you don't have not one black artist, from rappers to the Earth, Wind and Fires to Frankly Beverly Mays, everybody that exclusively worked with him, that ever said he ripped them off. You know what I mean? So he's a creator of his own kind. You
Yep.
have to have people behind the scenes that give artists the ability to flourish and do their thing. They handle the behind the scenes things, handle production teams, handle riders, handle insurance issues. You know what I mean? Handle all the other shit
All
and
the
that's
dirty
where I
work,
come in.
man.
That's that people like me come in. I'm not an artist. I'm not a rapper. I'm not a producer, but I love the culture and I'm a creator in my own right. So when I was doing the club thing and doing shows and we're doing mic fights, I was a power behind Street Wars, behind P Cutter and Justice. A lot of people don't know that. I used to work with them. We used to do it used to be me, Rain from PGC, and Dale from Nextel. We were the judges at the ROM fight, the mic fights at Dayless Nightclub.
Oh
You know what I mean?
shit.
So,
Okay.
so like some of my heroes out there, like Al Heyman, the Andre Harrells, these are the guys that, you know what I mean, that make
Rest
shit
in
happen.
peace to him.
Rest in peace to that brother. People
Yep.
don't give him his flowers. Andre Harrell did a lot
Exactly.
for the culture.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, and he was an artist at one point, but he noticed that his strength was somewhere else. And he, you know what I mean? And so that's how it goes. We all started out as rappers because we loved the music, but we understood that, we didn't have it. But we had other skills, we had other talents, other ways to create. We have to bring it together. We have to get with our business people. We have to get with our eggheads. Because there's certain things I'm just not into that people are into. There's people who enjoy doing paperwork. I don't enjoy doing that shit. But there's people who enjoy that stuff.
I mean, I didn't enjoy it, but I don't know. It's just like what you were saying, man. Sometimes it's like because like I DJ'd, right? I DJ'd and stuff. I had a homie. I used to do DJ. I used to DJ for him. So I did a couple shows with him and stuff like that. I did DJing because I just liked it primarily, but I knew that there had to be something like a conduit, man, where people can go and kind of get things done, right? Get the label done, get it put out there. And then even through like my distro network, dude, it was like I'd then link up with promoters in those areas. And then they'd be like, hey, dude, you think, some of your artists down to come out and do a show like in Arizona? Are they down to come out to Vegas or whatever? I'm like, hell yeah. And then it was like, okay, well, they can get here. We'll pay them. You'll hook them up with some weed, pay them, and, we'll put them in the telly for the night. You know what I mean? And then what they would end up doing is then probably linking up with the local record store, doing an in-store there, signing some merch, and that was how on an independent label, on an independent level, you were able to get your shit off, right? And it was people like me who basically I just played just like that hand, and like just the conduit, right? But the cats was owning their own shit, like their own shit from top to bottom, man.
Yeah.
All
what I like?
Everything is theirs.
What I got a lot of respect for is Drake's father.
Drake.
Yeah, Drake. Drake is here's the flip side of what you're talking about. How to operate in the mainstream, right? The way Drake operates in the mainstream, he's tied. His distribution is through Baby and them, right? But he's also his management is tied to Jay Prince and all his other management. When as far as shows and all that, he still does business with Al Heyman. He gets paid for Al Heyman to this day. So he's surrounding himself with a three-head monster.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's going to, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we got to get back on. All right. So when you look at management, you're looking at Jay Prince. You look at distribution, you're looking at Baby. When you look at, other management and show concerts and all that stuff, Al Heyman and his group. And that's what he goes to. And his shit is all black. He's from Canada.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So you get with your people, man, and you win. And that's what we're going to have to start rolling. Like, we're going to have to start solidifying the business, and the artistry as one. But looking at other people like, the Andre Harrells and the Al Heymans and the Jay Princes as artists too, but artists in the business side. They're creators of the business side. And you got to bring it together. And that's how you keep it tight. Because you give other people involved and they own your paperwork, that's when shit fall apart. And then down the line, you don't own your shit. You know what I mean? You got to fight for your stuff.
You got to fight for it. You got to try to buy it back.
Yeah, they playing your shit on goddamn Huggies commercials. You know what I mean? That's what they doing with man. What's happening with Prince music right now is
it's ridiculous, bro. Oh my god.
You know what I mean? It's infuriating like a mother. And then now this because of Suge's dumb ass, you know, Pac shit is in white hands, and now they putting, you know what I mean? They culture appropriating his stuff and using his stuff for pride. And all. Yeah, they got a Pride Tupac Pride T-shirt. And
what?
This is fuckery.
Yes, sir. His estate.
Yes.
Oh, his estate.
I'm sorry. I would mess your day up with this bullshit.
No, it's just damn.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know what I mean? And this is what happens. So we gotta this gotta stop. You know, now we can't do nothing about what was signed in the 90s. You know what I mean? But going forward, we got to see, like, hey,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know what I
mean?
Yeah. So when I see Bobby Shmurda dancing around at, you know, was it Atlantic Records, Virgin Records, whatever records
on the table?
Yeah, it looked like a straight minstrel show.
Oh, dude,
it hurts my heart. You know, and there's a room full of white people about to make money off of him. There's like 30 white people in that room about to make money off of him.
And this dude, just gets up on the table and
about to pay their condo rent so they can walk their dogs in Battery City. I mean, just you know, it hurt my heart to see that. That shit is still going on,
bro. That's where sometimes, man, I'll be like, we are our own worst enemies, right? And we have more power than we think we do in a lot of this shit, right? Because it literally starts with your own creations and what you're choosing to do in terms of curating it. Is this purely just for somebody else and you're just lending your creative talents over to them, for their gain, and you really don't care, about what can be gained out of it from the long term, then fine, go and do it. And pull a Bobby Shmurda, just jump up on the damn table and dance like a monkey, but
that's why I respect NBA players. Out of every industry and entertainment, these are the brothers that for the most part have taken, they're not only getting the money, they care about the excellence of it. You know what I mean? Like when you watch the playoffs, you watch how much they practice, the workouts, you know what I mean? They take the craft seriously.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not just about getting a check and moving on. They care about the craft seriously because that's how you keep it tough. See, if you don't take the craft seriously, it gets watered down and then anybody can do it.
That's where we are. Anybody
that's
can
we are in hip hop,
Yeah. Anybody can literally do it.
Yeah, and they're not allowing that. They're not allowing that. There was a time in the 80s where it was only the white boys could really shoot, right? What happened? There was a rash of black boys who started shooting that rock. And now the greatest shooters of all time are the Ray Allens and the Steph Currys and the Reggie Millers. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So we put excellence. Well, this is a great example where you have excellence in the game and you make the business move. So everything I see from Chris Paul to LeBron's crew, you know what I mean? And getting into management and, I'm loving it. We just need more of it. I love it. I've met LeBron and his crew before. Not met him, but I walked past him in Platinum. And I've seen how Mav Carter is. The look he gave me when me and Tex Sosa walked in the VIP. Like, who the fuck are these niggas? They are serious brothers. I respect that. You know what I mean? They're serious brothers.
Well, these dudes like, LeBron.
I didn't get to hang with LeBron that night, by the way, but I got to hang out with Daniel Marshall. Daniel Marshall's a funny dude. And we was roasting chicks on the floor beneath us. So if you go in a Platinum nightclub in DC, anybody in DC know what I'm talking about. If you're in VIP up top, it's open to the bottom. You got the main floor, and we were just roasting bitches, me and Daniel Marshall. But LeBron and his crew were like right there. You know what I mean? This is when he was playing with Cleveland the first time. And so I get to see stuff like that being in the promoting world. The promoting world, you get to see a lot of shit that Irish people don't see. You get to see people with their hair down because everybody comes out. Stars come out too. Athletes come out. You get to see people in rare form, and and you just run into them. The night I hung out with Ralph Tresvant. Funny story. That's a funny story.
Ralph.
Matter of fact, I should call that story the night I met Bobby Brown. This nigga was drunk. He probably was with
Abdul. Wait, who was drunk? Bobby or Ralph?
Bobby was a mess, man.
Oh,
you know
shit,
what I mean?
Yeah.
But I came in that club that night with my homeboy Vicente, who was a comedian working at the local improv. And then Ralph Tresvant walked up with two bad bitches. And he stopped to talk to me, and then we walked in together. And then we got with Abdul. Abdul had this thing where the bars in the middle, H2O. Anybody that was in DC at the time know what I'm talking about. And Abdul standing with his suit, African brother, promoter, big time promoter, hand me a drink, you know what I mean? I think hang out with his cousin. And then he hung, and then I got to meet, Bobby Brown, but he was slizzard. And that was the second time I met Bobby Brown. The first time I met Bobby Brown was the day before. No, sorry, not day before. Was the day, was a year later. The year later, this is when I had my Spider, my first one. I had a white Spider RSS, and I'm driving down Main Street, DC, right by 395. And Bobby Brown's in the back seat behind the driver, and I see him in the window, and then we had a stoplight, and I didn't notice him there. They pulled up next to me, and he said something about my Spider. He's like, "Yo, fam, that joint is nice. This is Bobby." Hanging out the window, complimenting my motorcycle. So I get off the motorcycle and I said, "Oh shit, Bobby B. We in the middle of traffic. We holding up traffic now." I got off my fucking motorcycle, get a nigga a pound. Now this is the funny part of the story. There was a chick in the back seat. It was like in a Suburban. There was a chick in the back seat, like, "Damn, he got off the bike and everything." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah," because he's a star, bitch. You know what I mean? And them niggas, him and the driver died. Them niggas died. They died when I said that to her. You know what I mean? I said, "Yeah, because he's a star. He's Bobby Brown. He's a star. You nobody, bitch." And then, and I got back on my motorcycle. Them niggas died, man. Oh my God. And they had a show at Constitution Hall that night. Anyway, a real funny story. But this is the kind of shit that happens on the random in the world. That's the second time I met Bobby Brown. So I'm not gonna get into what happened.
Yeah, I did promoting out here. I was doing it on like more of just like on the. It was just we had like artists come through and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember like any like super major.
Yeah.
But it was more like just like it was more like independent artists, local artists, stuff like that. And I was just we were just doing like clubs in Hollywood.
Matter of fact, I got a book bag, a gray book bag somewhere around here. Old gray book bag. Got the reflectors on it. Back in the day we had the book bag, the backpacks with the reflectors on them.
Yeah.
I got a backpack. In fact, it's in this closet. It's full of CDs, beat CDs from local artists from the DC scene back in the early 2000s. You know what I mean? You would probably be in that joint. If I gave that bag, you'd probably listen to it for a whole week.
I really wanted. I'm pretty sure I'd probably like come across somebody who like ended up doing some shit, and what I'm curious to come across would be like somebody's beat tape that now is like famous, right? Or like I've known, and they got their name 2000.
The only person in there that's famous is Wale.
Wale, so he's got some shit in there.
Wale and the Raheem Devon.
Raheem Devon, okay.
Yeah, I got an early demo from him. And I got that but I didn't get it from him. I got it from Raheem. Now I met Raheem Devon a couple of times, but we stood next to each other, home nightclub, hanging out with the African, Abdul and those guys, the promoters. So he was staying over there too. I met a lot of people, man. I'm friends with what's my girl, Free, from 106 & Park.
Yeah, 106 & Park.
I got photos with her. AJ.
That's kind of crushing her a little bit, man.
Yeah, she was fine back in the day too, man.
God damn.
She looks better in person. And she's cool. And she's real cool. She's down to earth.
She's
real cool. Real cool. I got a picture. I'm holding on to her, kind of, acting like she mine. And she
get up off my chick, man. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, it was at a bike rally, man. But anyway, that was funny. Like when I got into that beef with, Angry Man or Grinch tried to take a picture where I wasn't looking my best, right? And he used that picture, but he cut her out.
Oh, it was a picture of you and her?
It's a picture of me and her, but he didn't show that part. He cut it. He cropped it, and and blew my side up to make you look bigger than I was. And you know what I mean? Yeah, he's grimy nigga. So anyway, and I was like, show the whole picture.
Right, because he was saying like, "Yo, is that free right there?"
Yeah, you gonna go on my Facebook, nigga. Go on my Facebook and show the whole. Matter of fact, show my whole Facebook page. Show how many motorcycles that I had. I got motorcycles from 2010 to I got a album folder. It shows every motorcycle I ever had. So anyway, look, man, niggas do grimy shit. I ain't worried about it, but that's my girl. You know what I mean? And one time Fur and AJ from 164, he couldn't get in. The bouncers were fronting on him. I got him in. He followed me, led him over to Tupac and them for Mad Power Unit, which was a big time production team in DC. So promoting team in DC. You know what I mean? So I've been in the scene. I got stories for days. You know, I got stories from CeeLo to Maya. She's a hoe. And I got a whole bunch of stories. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
you just ruined another. You know, that
What? You
was
can hit
another.
that?
No, I'm
Oh,
joking,
okay.
dude.
Oh, okay. I was
No,
gonna say you can hit that. You want
no,
to marry
mine was one of
her?
those like like
Nah,
damn man, if I ever run into her,
yeah, you get that.
man.
You get that.
Yeah, well nowadays, yeah,
You get
that's
that.
pretty much
You could hit it back
the
then
mo.
too. You know, that's a sad story because I met her brother, but I ain't gonna get into that. A Marie, fine as fuck, and so's her sister. You know, they pulled up in a Range Rover. I'm standing outside a Dream. This is Mark Barnes Club, Mark Barnes and Taz. I'm standing in front of Dream with one of the bouncers and another promoter, and they pull up and walk in. I'm like, my tongue is on the floor. These some bad bitches. I'm talking about bad. They know they bad. You know what I mean? know they bad, you know? And right behind them, Jerry Stackhouse will walk in. So when he's playing for the Wizards, I'm
That's when
talking
he's
about,
playing with the
man,
Wiz, yeah.
look, everything's about position. And it's not about who you are, it's about where you are sometimes. You know what I mean? And if you're a promoter, you're gonna be behind the scenes. It's the business of it, you know, and everybody wants to party. It's a real cool business to get into if you can make it work.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down. It's about 3 a.m. My daughter is just like, Daddy.
Okay.
Yeah, she wants me to
Oh
crash
yeah, because
out because I'm
I
usually up.
start telling
I'm
stories and
usually
shit.
up super early in the morning. But the whole promoting thing, man. It'll be interesting to see how that basically opens back up. Because everything got shut down,
Yeah.
right? All the clubs was dead. A lot of club owners went out of business. Um, so I'm kind of now I know
Yeah.
in LA like a lot of those venue owners they got like was that PPP money or whatever to keep their shit.
Mhm.
So I know that a lot of them are planning to get like venues and shows going like for
It's a
like
tough business now because it's been consolidated by these corporations. Like for instance, the one thing I hated Jay-Z did was that contract he did with Live Nation. You know what I mean? I was
yeah
fucking pissed. I was like, you know how many brothers out here that he could have got with? This is when he was like white hot. You know what I mean? When Jay-Z was white hot. You know, there was nothing I would love to do a Jay-Z concert. And the crazy thing about it, that B-side concert, that's the idea I had in my head too. So great minds think alike. You know what I mean? I didn't give him the idea. I'm just saying that was something I talked to my homeboy Immortal about. Immortal's a producer and DJ I has to work with in DC. And we would sit there and talk about the B-side cuts. And I would love to see a show, and we were talking like in a small club, and we do the B-side concert. And then later
yeah
on,
he did it.
we did it. You know what I mean? And you know why? Because he said his homeboys were telling him, you know why? Because there's songs that we like, not the Big Pimp and all that shit. There's songs that we like that Jay-Z did that are classics, good classics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shit that, you know what I mean? Joints that don't never get any airplay, but they're just like, hood classics. And
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What was that joint? Is like DJ Premier produced it. It has like a piano stab, and then there's somebody like it goes like a million. Is this song
million,
called 1 million?
yeah, I know you're talking about.
That wasn't like a big popular Jay Z song. Like I'm talking like just generally speaking.
Yeah,
But in LA, that shit hit in the clubs, dude. Like
yeah.
the clubs used to just bang the shit out of that. Hey yo, but hey, look, it's 3 o'clock, man. I'm gonna shut it down, man. My
All
daughter's
right,
over
brother.
peeking at me at the door, man. Hey,
I,
let's.
I think Art already passed out.
Did Art pass out, man?
He ain't said nothing in like 30 minutes.
Yeah, Art. Man, Art. He passed out. And he's gone. Art gone, man. Art gone.
All right, well, good talking with you, man. I'm gonna get back to work. It's like 12
All right.
p.m. over here.
Hey, Jay Sean, appreciate you, fam.
No doubt, brother. You be good, man. And
y'all.
Oh wait, there he is.
He's fighting. Look, he's fighting it right now. He's fighting to sleep. Look at him.
Art, any last words before I shut it down, man?
F all y'all. Where'd that come from? Remember that? No Vaseline.
Yeah,
that's cute.
Here's what they think about
y'all.
you.
Oh, y'all.
Oh, and before, I don't know if y'all don't watch, but I love it. The Big Three's coming in 2 weeks.
Yeah, didn't they just do like a draft for that?
Yeah, Big Three's coming in 2 weeks. Shout out to Cube, man. Look, man, we the shit. We the shit, man. We the shit. We just need
Hey man,
opportunity.
I'm just
You
glad
know,
he was able to get Mahmoud Abdul Rauf back on the court, man.
man, he was killing them good young brothers, man.
Man,
Mahmoud is
great, all the gray hair, man, giving him all the smoke.
getting them the business. Oh my, I love it, man. Great idea and great. You know what's crazy? As soon as he got that off the ground, they now gonna make it an Olympic sport.
Yeah, 3-on-3. Yep.
Yeah, because and he's gonna be the template. So
Yep.
shout out to Cube, man. He got the NBA players at the game. LeBron, everybody beside. Farrakhan be on the sideline. I mean, the stars be coming out depending on what cities they be in. Beautiful shit, man. I love it.
Yeah.
That's stuff that black people do,
Shout
man.
out to Cube, the real O'Shea Jackson.
Yeah, man. Support his league, man. Watch the games.
And he's approachable. You can just talk with him when you
Cuss
run
you out,
into him.
Cube cool as fuck. He's cool as fuck. Yep.
Cool will cuss your ass out.
No, he cool as hell.
He'll do that too, but he cool as fuck though, man. Cube is good. He's good folks. Dub C is also cool as fuck.
I worked out with him too. I spotted him.
I mean, they have Kai
at the gym.
Drexler. They have Kai Drexler, Dr. J, Michael Cooper, Lisa Leslie, everybody involved in it. I'm loving that shit, man. That's beautiful.
Coop is approachable
Part
too.
of the Big Three.
Yeah, he's a coach. Yeah, so you got these OGs coaching, believing in the product. You know what I mean? Helping to build something new. These are old heads. They ain't got to. You know what I mean? They can sit back and just do what they want. They ain't got to. You know what I mean?
It's bingo goes long in basketball style.
Yeah, man, I love it, man. That's beautiful shit. This is black people, man, cooperating, with each other and working with each other and believing each other, and they building something new. And unfortunately, these the first 3-5 seasons, they ain't gonna make no real money. But if it blows up, the future, guys will.
We gotta promote it. We gotta help.
Anyway, I'll let you go, Complex.
All right, man.
All right,
Good
fam.
talk. We're gonna shut it down. Hey, y'all have a good one. We'll try to get back up going regular again. I promise.
Okay, well, count me in.
All right, I will.
I finished my project with part of it, so I'm good.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm probably just gonna go out in the garage and go smoke a little bit.
Okay, fam.
Convince myself to go to bed. All right, y'all. Have a good night. Peace.
All right, peace, fam. Let me get out of here.